Talk Shoes. Recorded live.
Welcome to another podcast. Quicker than anyone probably expected from the last one, but I think the true fans will know that's true Claude and Justin style. No podcast for 5 months and then 2 back to back.
Yeah, days apart. Why not?
Days apart. Why not? Why not? So we got a little interesting setup here that I will let Justin explain. It's his little setup, and
okay,
let's see how this goes.
Yes. Okay, so the backstory is I've been watching Curb Your Enthusiasm, catching up for this season. I'm a big fan of the show. You're not particularly a fan of the show. So anyway, it's oh, by the way, I noticed that thing someone pointed out, the Lost reference. Anyway,
what?
there was a Lost reference on Curb Your Enthusiasm. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What am I talking about? Okay, so you're a writer. And
well, that's what my hat said.
And so you oh, that old bit. I forgot about that. Okay. Anyway,
actually, maybe that's my new bit, because I actually have a hat that says writer now.
Oh, really?
So maybe I don't have a business card anymore. Maybe it's a hat.
Oh, okay. Why not?
Yeah.
You know what? We need a new thing. I was trying to figure out what my bit would be for next year to supplant my New Year's Justin thing.
Oh,
and,
nice.
I'm working on that.
New Year's Justin might just be a recurring character, because every year he can have a new thing.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Maybe I can come up with a new thing for New Year's Justin.
New Year's Justin 05 did this. New Year's Justin 06 did this.
Yeah.
He changes back and forth.
That's a good idea. I think that's what I'll do. I'll come up with a new thing for the new year, and that'll be every year you can expect that. I don't know. It turned into a whole thing. It got out of control.
Yeah, it was like Dear Abby or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Who were living their lives by the Tao of New Year's Justin.
Yeah. I was reading comments. Well, New Year's Justin would say this, but you know what? He would. That is what he would say. You're right. So anyway, God
loves you as He loved New Year's Justin.
Right. New Year's Justin is the one true way. So anyway,
everyone knows that.
So you're a writer, and I think you tend to pay some
hardcore, extreme, meticulous,
what I would call analytical attention to story construction, among other things.
Yes.
And one of the things that strikes me occasionally is your ability to sort of guess what has to happen next.
Okay.
Given some setup. And so one example, I thought of is the movie Jerry. It's a slightly obscure movie with Matt Damon and Casey Affleck from a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, the two of them, they just get lost in the desert, and so I remember at the time I said, so what do you do with that? And he said, well, they either get rescued or one of them kills the other one. And both things happen. One of them kills the other one, and then they get rescued.
Yeah.
And so that's exactly because it's such a nothing story. I didn't really think, there didn't seem to be anything you can do with that. And I guess at that point that's it. What else is there?
Yeah, I mean that's really it. That pretty much exactly. What else is there to do? And the guise of needing something finite and concrete and something that'll please the viewer or the reader or whatever. Yeah, you gotta have something big like that, and that's really all you can do.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just it's such a weird movie. I don't know if I really recommend it, but it's something. Anyway, I was impressed with that, and I just I guess so. Anyway, I'm watching the show, and there's this plot that like comes up, and it has a setup, and then the punchline is, how it goes. And so anyway, I want to present this situation and see see what you think will be the outcome.
Okay.
Okay. Because like when I was presented with it in the show, I'm Mr. like go along with whatever. I won't question anything. I just sit there and let it happen. I don't try to outthink it, and I don't want to. I mean, even if I wanted to do that, I just wouldn't do it. It's just I don't know. I prefer not to. And I think even if I did it, I probably wouldn't be very good at it. I don't know. I always think crazy things are going to happen that don't happen. So anyway, here's the setup. The setup is this is sort of so the situation is obviously there's all these characters, but the situation is that Larry doesn't want to go to a party, okay, that one of his friends is having.
Oh, really? I don't believe it.
So,
not the Larry Sanders I know. No,
so,
Larry David. Oh, no.
Larry David, yeah, whatever. So he doesn't want to go to the party. So his plan is what he decides to do is to just not go, right? Not call at all.
Okay.
And then the next day, show up at their house and pretend you're there for the party.
Okay, I think that sounds familiar to me. I don't know if I've seen that episode or not, but that setup sounds familiar.
Oh, it does? Well,
yeah.
You've seen it. That'll ruin the thing.
Yeah, that'll ruin the whole thing. I feel like, I mean, I haven't really seen that much of the show. I mean, really. The odds would be crazy that that's the one I've seen. But something I've heard of something like that, like showing up at a different time, but maybe that was something else. I don't know. So continue, and maybe I'll remember, or I won't.
All right, so we'll see. So that's the setup. He wants to. That's his plan. So the way it's supposed to play out is he's supposed to show up a day late, like, hey, where's the party? And the party was yesterday. Oh, the party was yesterday. Oh man, wow. And so then the person isn't angry at him for missing the party. They think they genuinely went the wrong day, and the idea is that they didn't have to go to the party and they can go on their merry way. That's supposed to be how it's supposed to play out. However, in comedy, things go wrong. So
what?
So my question to you is, what goes wrong with this plan? How does this not work? What's the flaw?
Oh, what could be the possible flaws in the plan?
Yeah, and what?
Oh, this is an interesting task. Okay. It's a very interesting angle to approach that. Okay.
Because there's a specific flaw that happens in the show that he basically a bunch of characters end up trying this, and it happens to every one of them. So so yeah, I'm looking to see if you come up with this specific flaw that like I wouldn't necessarily have thought of. It's
a good setup because it has a lot of different flaws that you can exploit. So I can probably name a couple. One I can think of is that, well, it depends on how are people invited to the party. How do they know about the party?
Well, I don't even think they said. I think in the context of the show, the parties are kind of informal things, and they were just invited verbally via phone or something like that. I don't think. So
there's nothing written that says when the party is or anything like that. It's just they just happen to know when the party is.
Yeah, and these people know each other pretty well, so they know where each other's houses are, and so this is kind of an informal party. So.
All right. Okay, so let's see. So he wasn't going to call. And he wasn't going to go. He wasn't going to call. He was just going to show up the next day at the same time, right?
Yeah.
And say, And then I guess my question is.
And let me also mention, just as a sort of a hint, that the person doesn't have to discover the deception for it to go wrong. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So, you know, the person may not even know that they've been deceived.
Oh, yeah. No, I assume that.
And something can still go wrong.
I'm wondering, because it matters what goes wrong too. Like is the idea that he ends up still being at the party at the right time? Is that what you said?
No. What do you mean?
Is that the idea that he has this plan to avert the party, but he ends up still going to a party?
Well, okay.
I mean,
I feel like you're on the right track.
Well, because I feel like it depends on what the outcome is. Because the outcome could be that they just get mad at him, therefore his plan doesn't work. Because part of his plan was they wouldn't be mad, you know. But the other outcome could be that he. The other outcome could be that.
I will say that they don't get mad at him. At least not initially. Initially, they buy it.
It could be that he shows up the next day, but they happen to reschedule the party, and so he ends up showing up for the party, and they just think, oh, look, I'm glad you found out about the change or whatever.
Mhm.
I can see that happening.
Okay.
And then he's put in the situation of not expecting to have to be there at the party, other than just showing up, you know. So something could happen where, you know, he's got a jacket on or something and like pajamas or something on underneath, or you know, and they find out he wasn't really planning on staying. You know, something like that could happen.
Okay, see, you're hovering in the direction of the right thing. You're not dead on, but it's you got some of the right ideas.
Mhm. Yeah, I don't know the show that well, you know, but what else? I'm trying to think. So
I guess, okay, maybe I can focus things a little bit. How might the party host react to this that isn't them knowing they've been deceived, but it's still undesirable to Larry? That's what I'm looking for.
What?
The way they're going to react to this, that is not what he expected, but it's not them saying you're lying or I'm pissed.
So they aren't happy. So they're mad, but they're not mad at the deception. They're mad for another reason.
They're not even mad. But it's a reaction. It's a reaction that Larry doesn't want. But they're not mad.
Oh, okay. So he basically tells them what happened, and they say, "Oh, you know, sorry you missed the party." I guess that's my question. Did he actually miss the party?
He did. He missed the party.
Okay, so there was a party that he missed.
There was a party. He missed it. Yeah.
Okay.
So that part of the plan, like everything's going off without a hitch so far. And they buy the story, and then the bad thing hits every time.
Let's see. What could be the bad thing?
And it's the bad thing is the way they react to it, and it's not by getting angry. It's.
Oh well, then it would be. I mean, with somebody like Larry, he's egocentric. You know, maybe if they were like they somehow said they didn't want. It was better that he didn't come or something like that. You know, like it was a better party for him not being there, or.
Now there is a plot like that, but not this one.
Okay.
So you got the personality right, but yeah, not this time. But
they already used that one, huh?
They did use that one.
Why else? What other reaction would Larry not like? It's not a bad reaction.
So you're kind of on the right track, right? He didn't want to go to the party. This is his way of avoiding going to the party.
Yeah.
So your one suggestion that maybe he somehow ends up going to the party anyway is, I feel like that's on the right track, but there's a twist.
Yeah. Okay. So. That's weird. There's a lot you could do, but okay. So he's. I feel like I'm on Jeopardy.
Yeah, I know.
I feel like I hear the music ticking in my head. I can't think. Shut up, Alex. Okay, so
he sits there and sings it to you.
Yeah.
In your imagination.
Yeah, I know he plays it on like a chime or something. Okay,
Don't mind
so
me, I'll just play a little theme for you.
exactly.
A little thinking music.
Plus out a harpsichord.
Ting, 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 ting.
Okay, so back to the thing. Okay, now I'm losing focus here.
Okay, so
Because I feel like this is like fractal math or something.
it's just this little bit. That's what I liked about this plot. It has this little bit of reasoning to it that I liked.
So Larry tells them the whole thing. They buy the whole thing, and then instead of being like, "Oh, it's okay," they have some other thing. But they're not mad at him. They're not mad at him for missing the party.
Right. They're not mad at him for missing the party, but
are they happy at him for missing the party?
Well, they're not happy, but they're
happy at him.
They're okay with it. They buy the excuse.
Something tells me it's not even. Their reaction has nothing to do with him missing the party.
What do you mean?
I guess that's not true then.
I don't even understand what you mean by that.
Like their reaction, because he's expecting a good reaction to his plan. You know what I mean? About like
Yeah.
a favorable response in terms of his missing the party, right?
Yeah.
I feel like their response isn't even in response to his missing the party, but something else.
Okay. So basically they accept the deal is they accept the excuse at face value, at least initially, and then it's like, oh, okay, well, these things happen, but and then there's a but, and then this has an undesirable outcome.
Okay. But
So I'm just seeing if somehow
we do have a time machine, so you can't go back and join us.
Now that would be pretty crazy. The show's been really weird this season. I wouldn't be surprised if they pulled something like that. It's, like all shows right now, it's off kilter. Like something's wrong.
Something is wrong. Something's wrong with returning shows.
Yeah, it's just not
like
the same.
comedy is comedy. It's like the dramas are okay, but comedies are just like something's weird.
Yeah, it's like I don't know, they all collectively lost it. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's very weird. I still kind of like it because I'm just in, I've been watching it too long, but yeah, it's not.
So they say but, and then this has a bad, then he doesn't like what they say after that.
Yeah, they don't necessarily literally say but it's sort of like, they accept the excuse and, well.
Oh, maybe it was, maybe, what did he tell them exactly? He said, okay, tell me again.
He told them that he thought the party was that night.
Uh-huh.
And so they're all dressed up like they're going to the party. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And of course they do a bunch of acting when they first get there. They pretend like they have no idea what's going on,
Mm-hmm.
They just sort of stand there like, because the person answers the door like, hello,
Mm-hmm.
what are you doing here? And then they stand around for a while and they do a whole thing, try to play it off like they're really surprised there's no party.
Mm-hmm.
So that's basically how they do it.
Okay.
And then they go through the whole thing and the party was last night. Oh, the party was last night. Oh, how silly. What, sorry. Oh man. Oh, that's okay. No problem. And then the thing comes. And it's
oh man. Huh.
I mean, it's simple and it's
simple.
fairly straightforward.
Okay.
But
I can think of a lot of crazy things like
it gets crazy eventually, but the initial sort of thing isn't that crazy.
Who is it? I just wonder who it's regarding though. Because I wonder if it's something like they buy that that they thought the party was was then and not last night, but something that they did last night made that lie not true upon retrospect.
Mhm.
Like they heard them shouting, "Yay, we came up with a great plan not to go to the party tonight," or something like that.
Yeah.
Like,
well, you're kind of on the right track with that. But that's not what I'm looking for. So another plot. Basically, this is So at the beginning of the episode, he shares this with Richard Lewis and his agent, who are two sort of relatively main characters on the show. And so through the course of the show, they both use this method as well.
Okay.
However, that's not the problem.
Mm-hmm.
In this case, it ends up being a problem later when they're all using this method. But for now, initially, that's not the problem.
Mm.
So I feel like what you were saying is in the realm of that. Basically, him telling the other people what he's going to do and then them doing it too. Kind of spoils it. When everybody says the same thing, you start to not believe it.
Like, what? Okay, well. Okay, so...
And basically the running gag is every time someone tries this, the same thing happens. That is an unintended consequence.
And it's the same unintended consequence for everybody?
For everybody, and it's different parties too.
Wow, that sounds great.
I thought it was good.
Let me think. It's the same. So it's not dependent on whose party it was or what kind of party it was or anything like that.
It's basically a specific way that I guess to think of this, maybe you put yourself in the shoes of the person hearing this. The party, putting yourself in the shoes of the party host, and you're hearing someone give this excuse.
Mm-hmm.
And they're your friend, and they're here, and so you think okay, so what do you say?
Oh, you mean like invite them in to stay?
Oh, okay, and why can you do that?
Why can you do that?
Yeah.
Well, because they were expecting a party.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, okay. Okay, that's what you were going for.
That's what
I tried to you're right. That's what I was trying to say earlier, where they end up coming but there's a party there. But I should have said like they just end up having a party because they're there.
So
not that there was a second party,
Yeah.
I felt like that was the consequence though, was that they still ended up at a party.
Yeah, so you're on the right track. And it was this thing. Basically, the thing they all do is, well, you thought you were going to be at a party, so obviously
we're not doing anything. Why don't you come in?
You must be free right now, and they start like, oh, we got to go to the. But you were supposed to be at a party,
Yeah, exactly. You're supposed to be at a party. Oh, I have a. Oh, yeah. Oh, but wasn't. Yeah.
And that's
no excuse you give can work because you had this time allotted for the party.
Exactly.
You can't say, oh, I got to do this. Oh man, yeah,
you're dressed up. You're ready for a party, and now you're stuck there.
Yeah.
And you have to just go to the party a day late, and nobody's there.
Yeah, and it's even worse than just going to the party in the first place.
Exactly. Yeah. So I love that it seems like a good plan, and then the obvious there's an obvious problem with it that you should be free for a party right then.
Yeah.
And that ruins everyone.
Mhm.
And then of course eventually Richard Lewis shows up and tries the same thing, and then it gets a little weird. And eventually, I think they do figure out that he, didn't really think it was a day later. But but it was that initial thing, and you were headed in the right direction, and eventually got it right on. So good work, you win.
Yay! Ding 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 ding! I go on to the bonus round.
Yay! I wish I had a bonus round question for you.
Well, it's interesting this impromptu game came up because last night I started a new little blog about this kind of stuff, story structure and
did you?
I did. I sent you the link earlier.
Yeah, no, I
saw
it. I read it. I checked it out.
Yeah. So
I was just saying that like we were doing a commercial for it.
Yeah, exactly. Wow, really?
You don't say. What might I find there?
Exactly. Wow. It's home to. Well, no. Basically, it's like a, you know, like you were saying earlier, like an analytical approach to TV writing and thinking about like joke structure and analyzing like what, you know, when it comes to certain jokes or setups, like what makes them work, what doesn't work, you know, like, you know, it's you know, especially those times, you know, with especially like, you know, we were saying with so many shows feeling off kilter, you feel like, you know, knowing the show well enough, you feel like what the joke should have been, you know, and so I want to get into that kind of thing of like, okay, this joke seems like it, you know, you can tell it should have been really funny. Why didn't it work, you know, and trying to figure out, you know, why didn't it work, how you can fix it, and like, you know, things like that, and you know, just like sort of approaching TV shows from like a writer's point of view, kind of thing, and you know, talking about characters, storylines, and arcs and crap, and you know, that kind of thing. So,
yeah, I read the thing, and it was it's always weird to hear like very, you know, very precise discussion of comedy because I guess you know.
Yeah, it's like looking behind the curtain, huh?
Yeah, and it's just sort of weird. I guess for me, like the more I think about comedy, the less funny it seems to get.
Really?
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I can't. I really feel like I need to not figure out what the you know, the conventions are, because I think if I ever do, I'm gonna just stop laughing at everything.
But see, I think that's what you might think, but for me, I feel like for me, what's happened, you know, wanting to be a TV writer, you know, and analyzing, you know, most of the times when I watch shows, you know, I you know, half of me is watching it as a regular fan, half of me is watching as a writer, and especially when things, you know, don't really hit or I don't think are interesting or just, you know, strange to me, you know, and so, you know, things stand out, but to me, I find. To me, I guess I find more enjoyment now from understanding why something is funny or realizing that a certain line like makes absolutely no sense, you know, or like, you know, like little, like actually understanding like what they're referencing or, you know, things like that, and seeing sort of the craft behind it, and not just like, oh, that's a funny joke, but, you know, hey, that's a callback to, you know, something they did in season 1, you know, or hey, that's a, you know, thing that they got from this other show that did this thing, you know.
Yeah.
And just sort of approaching the show as like, you know, sort of like a writer on the show, you know. Yeah. And trying to think about what would I do if I was on that show, you know. Just, you know, as a learning tool.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense. That whole thing, like, I realized that you know, that line, you know, oh, a dog ate it or whatever. I realized you're right. She just didn't. I don't think she believed in it.
She didn't,
because she didn't sell it at all. And I didn't realize that until you pointed out. I'm like, yeah. When I thought back to the way she delivered the line, I'm like, yeah, her heart was just not in that joke.
Exactly, and with a joke that lame, the character has to sell it.
Yeah.
You know, otherwise it looks like she's not even trying. You know.
It kind of reminded me of that weird period on Lost where Kate was making all those jokes and not even really believing them. You know.
Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't work when you're acting like shows that you don't even think this is very good.
Exactly.
You know?
And it's Tina. It's her show. You know, not only did she write that episode, but that's her line.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like she's the most invested in that line out of anyone to do with that show.
Yeah.
And she can't even sell it. And that's to me that's what and I love that, because it makes me think, like, why do that then? What is her real reason? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Did she just think that was the best she could do, or was there a real decided reason? You know. And it's you know, and a lot of it is just sort of semantics and, like, you know, really looking way deeper into stuff that, you know, you most people never need to, you know.
Yeah, in your coverage of her character arc, it's just like bizarre for me to read.
Yeah, I did. My first post on there is entitled "Wherefore Art Thou, 30 Rock," and it's just a little synopsis of the show thus far and my feelings of how season 2 just from the very beginning just came off weird and strange, and there'll be, and basically what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to try to do recaps of every episode and point out the really good jokes and the really bad jokes and the, you know, other interesting tidbits and stuff like that. So, because I was trying to see if other sites did anything like that, and you know, there's a lot of sites that do recaps, and there's some sites that do like they will have the list of the best like jokes or the lines for the episode, but they don't actually talk about them, you know.
Mm-hmm.
They just say what they are, and it's great. But like, like Tracy, like I don't know if you remember, I think it was in the pilot. Yeah. Tracy was talking about his car and how Angie was upset because he had a license plate that said, oh God, now I forget what it was. Oh, it was ICU81.
Yeah.
Me. M-I something. I forget what it was exactly now. But basically I had no idea what that was. Like I spent like I mean I listened to that thing several times and I looked at the license and I just could not figure out why he said that, what that was supposed to mean, you know, and I'm like, I guess it's ICU81 me, but like what's that mean? You know,
ICU81 MI?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. He said, well, it's weird. It's like there's the way he said it, and then there's what the letters are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because he sort of says "am I," but it's just an "M-I." You know,
Yeah.
He sort of changes what he. It's a weird thing, but
for if you're writing letters, you can get off with a little, you know, with an M instead of an AM.
Yeah, can you?
On a license plate. Yeah.
I guess. But anyway, I didn't know what that was, so I had to do research, and apparently 81 is like a sexual position. And I guess the license plate, see, this is what's weird, even knowing that. So now it seems like Angie thinks that the license plate says, I see you 81 me, you know, I guess that means they ate one you or something,
mm-hmm.
Which she finds, you know, inscrutable or whatever. But he thinks it just says, "I see you A1, am I?"
Mm-hmm.
Which what does that even mean? like not only is it a reference I've never even heard before, you know, to even get into the door of understanding the joke, but like there's two different levels of what the joke means, you know, like what Angie thinks it means, which is what it really means, and what Tracy thinks it means, which means nothing. And it's like, what's going on there, you know? There's like three levels going on in like this one little line he has, you know.
Now, what did she say about the license plate? I don't remember.
He just said that she found it appalling or something like that. Here, let me see.
Oh, see, I didn't get that. I just assumed it was nonsense. I didn't think it meant anything.
See, that's the thing. You know what? I gotta say, there's a lot of 30 Rock where because I watch, you know, but I watch episodes constantly. You know, I usually by the time a new episode comes on, I've watched it 3 or 4 times. You know, the old one, and I catch stuff every time. And you know, I'm just like, wow, like I didn't know, like I thought I knew what you guys were talking about, you know, but I had no idea, you know.
So she was mad because she thought it was like some kind of dirty sexual thing.
Exactly.
And but from his perspective, it was
just
like
something
else. Who knows what it means?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Who knows what it means?
That's pretty weird. I really see. That's the thing. I thought it was nonsense, but then I don't know why she would be pissed off if it was really nonsense.
Mhm.
So it seems like it is supposed to mean something. But, like, that's not a reference I'm familiar with.
I've never heard of that, 8-1. You know?
No.
I've never heard of that.
No, never heard of that one. Although I'm sure listeners have.
Huh?
Oh, nothing.
No. Sure, what has? Oh, Tracy, is that what you said?
No. I was referring to our fans. As I recall, they have an encyclopedic knowledge of various things.
Here it is.
You know what I'm talking about out there.
ICU81MI.
Oh, did he say she thinks it's inscrutable?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Inscrutable.
I'm going with nonsense then. That makes sense. If she thought it was inscrutable, then if it's nonsense, then it should be.
But why is he saying it's not?
Because he's crazy and he thinks it makes sense. Like
Is that what they're talking about?
I think so. I think to him it makes sense somehow. But he's crazy.
No, okay.
I think that's what's supposed to be going on. That's why I thought that. I thought she was offended by it or something.
So he just came up with a nonsense license plate, and that's the whole joke.
Yeah.
And he's pissed that she thinks it doesn't make any sense because he thinks it makes sense, but
Yeah.
it doesn't.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I think
That's
pretty
crazy. See, that's the kind of thing I want to talk about on my blog. I want to talk about that because that's pretty crazy. And when you're just listening to it, you don't catch that. You just think, "Oh, I'm supposed to laugh."
Yeah. That's. I mean, I think I assume that's what it was, but I didn't really think about her being mad about it, and I forgot that that's what he said, and the whole thing was jumbled in my mind. But
yeah.
It goes by pretty fast, so
there's a lot going on. Yeah, there's a lot going on, but
that's what happens with that show a lot. Like a lot of those lines, and if you laugh at something, you can miss
you just
stuff.
miss 2 lines.
Yeah.
If you laugh, you miss 2 lines.
There's just no space for laughter, which is fine. I like that.
Yeah.
But you really miss
that's
stuff.
why you gotta. If you can watch this. I've watched this show a lot, man. You can, and I'm yet to be bored with it. Because you can just watch it over and you'll still catch stuff. You'll be like, what? Where did that joke come from?
Yeah.
But I watch a lot of TV and I have a lot of opinions on TV, so I thought might as well blog about them if I can, if I have the willpower.
Right.
We'll see how long I can keep it up. But once the newness wears off. But I'm going to try to do.
You and blogs have a storied and troubled past.
Stories all this time. There's a lot of sites out there, about TV writing and stuff like that, but not a lot of them really get into the nuts and bones of real examples from shows and stuff. They just kind of do theory kind of stuff, but
I think substance is something you don't find on the internet very often.
Yeah, and I think obviously, like you were saying, it's sort of weird to read about 30 Rock and that way of some serious story or something.
Yeah, where you take on her arc and how her personality and what she's going through in life has sort of evolved. It's just weird to think about seriously because that show sits in this part of my brain where the characters I'm not invested in them at all because I just think of them as these silly things that don't really, whatever drama they go through on the show, I don't really feel anything for because it just all seems too wacky to me.
Yeah.
So it's so weird to me because I haven't really thought about it, because I don't take them seriously. I don't really think about their stories or their problems or whatever. And you didn't really address this, but your whole thing about her turning to the dark side and
that's gonna be a whole essay. It's gonna be the Star Wars of 30 Rock.
Yeah.
I think I've got a couple. I think there's a couple different ways to view 30 Rock, and I think I think Star Wars is a viable one, given her love of Tina Fey's intense love of it, and how I wouldn't be surprised if some of the things that I'll bring up are not what she's thinking, you know, because I think it makes sense with someone with her character of like, okay, how am I going to create a show? Well, I'll just do a modern day like Star Wars story, but it'll be this comedy set at like, you know, and you know, so I'm interested to see exploring that, but I think it's got a little viability just off the top, but we'll see once I get into it. This is all at claudetv.blogspot.com, by the way.
Oh yeah, I was gonna mention it. You hadn't said it yet.
But
I didn't remember. But yeah, so she's I guess she is Anakin, right?
I think I haven't decided. She's either Anakin or she's Luke, and I think there's a couple ways you can look at it. But I got to get more evidence to see which one she really is.
Okay.
But I think it looks at the beginning like she's Anakin.
Okay.
You know. I would hesitate to think that she wouldn't start with Luke's story first, but it makes more sense, you know, as obviously for a TV series to start at the real beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So, not that I think, you know,
she's gonna like carry out the whole story.
There's gonna be a new like Liz Lemon who's gonna come and like save from a new generation of Jack, like, and it's gonna be this like epic TV show.
She's gonna be horribly disfigured.
Yeah, and then like magic powers and no. It's definitely nothing that overt.
That would be really crazy. Holy shit.
But yeah, I felt like I needed to organize my thoughts on the whole thing. Did it work? Do you think it made sense?
Yeah.
Thing? It's pretty long.
It was long, but it was breezy. It didn't you know, although it was technical, it was you know, entertaining.
Yeah.
I thought. So you know, especially if you're into that kind of thing, which I don't know if I am, but it was interesting.
Yeah, right? It's a very specific thing to be into.
It is.
You know?
I mean, in general, I like analyzing things. But yeah, I just the thing that's always happened to me when I start analyzing things is I start not liking them.
Mm-hmm.
So, because once I see how they work, you know, they lose their mystery and power.
Yeah.
You know, and so on a certain level, I you know, certain things I'm worried about, you know, losing my, you know, ignorance of.
Mhm.
But anyway, it's funny to view the show that way. I mean, I think if you watch it and you think about, you know, her character arc. I think that, I don't know, it adds something. It makes that scene like at the end, you know, when she goes to Alec Baldwin and says, you know, teach me to be like you. Like, It makes that seem almost like creepy or
it was
chilling or something.
I watched that episode again today, and I was paying attention that whole time. That was the Star Wars episode, you know.
Yeah.
What's her name? Guest star.
Carrie Fisher.
Carrie Fisher guest star. They had the whole thing, you know. And so I think if any episode, to make it clear, any reference to Star Wars in the plot, it was that one, and I think it was very fitting how. I think it was the episode before, at the beginning, they set up Jack, this new little set piece they have with Jack's balcony at his office, and he looks out into the city, and he was looking out with his assistant Jonathan, and Jonathan, very, very Pinky in the Brain-esque, said, you know, one day you'll take over this city, one day you'll own this whole city, you know. It's very, you know, which is really crazy because it's the first time you get a glimpse that, you know, if Jack could, you know, he could want to take over the whole city, you know, or he does want to if he could, which is pretty crazy that he's that sort of ambitious. But like if he really could control the whole city,
yeah.
But
it's one of those
he's that kind of guy, though.
Yeah.
He's definitely that kind of guy.
If you think about that the right way, like it just takes on this other. Like I just let that go. Like, oh, haha, you know, whatever. Move on, but if you focus on it, it starts to seem kind of sinister.
Yeah, no, and then later, you know, then the most recent episode 4, I believe, you know, basically Liz has just seen her worst nightmare, her in like 20 years, and it's exactly who she doesn't want to be, personified by Carrie Fisher. And you know, the woman she like idolized as a child, you know, was limited. And then at the end, you know, and then that was the other thing. It was not only like it was the intersection of like all her main problems, you know, growing old and alone, not meeting anybody, like financially not having any money, and like professionally, you know, not, you know, having really needing the show, you know. And it was like the crux of everything laying squarely at Jack's feet, you know. And she was like, "Teach me to be like you," you know, because he represented the exact opposite of Carrie Fisher, you know. And I thought that was that's pretty, I mean, like I said, I don't know how deep the writers are really going for that, but I think that's you can look at it fairly deep, you know. Because you can put the same thing in a drama. You can put that same storyline in a drama and, you know, and make it really engaging.
Yeah. No, if you play that right, it could just be one of those like Wall Street or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Creepy, like climb the corporate ladder story.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to mention that the Carrie Fisher character, you know, a couple times they show clips from, not clips, but little like bits, little things that she wrote, you know. And they're just really bad.
Yeah.
You know, like
they're a totally different kind of comedy.
You
and
have like
that's
a
what
mailbox.
was great.
Yeah, and yeah, and like it says some name, and then the little Tina Fey is like, it's funny because it's true.
Yeah,
you know.
Alderman, yeah. Yeah, and see, I love that joke because I don't get that joke.
I don't either.
I don't know if that's a person because that's what Cerise says. That's why, and I love that Cerise says it. She's like, is that a person who lived? Like who? Like I don't know that name. What does that name mean? You know? And the thing, like, there was someone who did a whole joke about that. You're like, wow, I wish I knew that reference. And the fact that they put that in there, you know, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
You know, and it would take research or someone being older to know if that's a real thing or not.
Right.
You know, and she like even named some like old shows, and like she was like, we would have done that on the Mandrell Sisters, and I'm like, that sounds like it could be a real show. You know, I think I've heard of the Mandrell Sisters. Like maybe that was a real show. Like I don't know, or maybe it's just a joke that they could have had a sketch show or something, and you know, and they did, and like, yeah, and those are the kind of jokes that just fly, and you hear them and you don't think about them, but there's a lot of craft going into, you know, doing that kind of stuff.
I wasn't sure what they were saying. Like, you know, I mean, I'll let it go over my head. But while we're talking about it, seriously, I wasn't sure what they were saying about her character. Like in those flashbacks, they made it seem like her stuff was never very funny, and she just looked up to her because, you know, because she was a woman and because she did this like supposedly political subversive kind of humor that like looked to me like it was really just sort of lame, you know. Like
I think she was saying a lot. I think she was saying how I think anytime I love the little girl who plays that character, who plays young Liz Lemon.
Yeah.
She's so pathetic to look at. I mean, she's kind of like Heather Mazzaro, you know.
Yeah.
Just like you just look at her, you're just sad, you know. And
yeah, she is sad.
You know, it's just, and it's really the glasses, you know. They're really those big glasses. Anyway, I think she's saying a lot. I think she's taken another opportunity to comment on her childhood, and it seems like she wasn't a very ambitious child. You know, like I think it was maybe the next episode. I think the previous episode maybe when she was saying how when they were talking about Sari getting married, and she was like, yeah, you know, I dreamed of getting married when I was a child, but I never glamorized it or whatever. You know, you cut to her with the little bear, you know, and she's like, this is my new husband, you know, Mr. Bear, and then she has another little bear, another little doll, and she says, and this is his son Peter from a previous marriage. You know, it's just like it's really funny to think any child could be that disillusioned that young, you know, like that aware that you know, or that willing to believe that that's her future.
Right.
And it's like, okay, well, if she was like that as a child, this is why she's like that now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She was already, you know, sarcastic about everything.
Yeah. And that was the thing that struck me about the line. Like, she didn't laugh at it. She just turned around and deadpanned, like, it's funny because it's true. Like, that's it. Like it seemed like she didn't even like it that much. She just sort of liked the idea of it.
I think what she's doing with those flashbacks is taking an opportunity to comment on what was supposed to be like good comedy back then, you know, and I think she's making a joke at herself and at that when she says it's funny because it's true, you know, because I think, you know, that's a style of comedy, you know, that's not very interesting.
Yeah.
And I think she might be commenting on that by saying, oh, look, it's funny because it's true, you know, like we're supposed to laugh now, you know.
Right.
So I don't know. She could be doing a lot of things in that, but
yeah, I just, like, you know, because this character was her idol, like,
yeah.
I got the impression she sort of talked herself into liking her more than she actually liked what she wrote.
I think but I still feel like she actually liked it. I think she saw something magical in it, you know. There's that quality to her character, you know, and but I just think it just turns out it just wasn't very good.
Yeah.
You know, and that her idol, like she didn't idolize Carol Burnett or Lucille Ball or, you know, or any of the huge superstar comedians, you know. She idolized this like female comedy writer who, you know, who nobody knows.
Yeah.
He thought she was one of the women who tried to shoot Gerald Ford. So
yeah.
You know, I think that's where she's starting from with this whole thing, is really about what her ambition is, and her goal was to be somebody like not that great. So what does that mean about her life, you know?
Yeah.
So I really think that's where it's all coming from.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
And that's what they don't tell you in the TV guidebook.
Oh.
They don't cover that.
Oh, I just love Kenneth. He's so funny.
Everyone loves him some GD Kenneth.
Oh, he always says these things, and they're so hilarious.
Oh, man. You know what? I also couldn't find any 30 Rock transcripts anywhere. I don't know if anyone on the planet is transcribing 30 Rock.
No one on the planet is.
I mean, the internet is so big at this point that if someone's transcribing it, it's going to be on the internet.
Yeah.
And like, I can't find it. Therefore, I'm led to believe no one on the planet, you know, aside from, you know, whoever at NBC is supposed to transcribe it.
Presumably, yeah, there are scripts written by
most of the people who are paid to do that,
yeah.
You know. No one who's watching it, because I couldn't find it, so I might start doing that.
Wow. Oh, God.
Because there's been a lot of times when I'm like, there's a whole scene I want to talk about, you know, like the sort of arc of a scene or something, and there's, you know, I'd have to write a lot out anyway, so I'm like, well, depending on how deep I get into analyzing each episode, I could just, you know, write out the whole thing.
Mhm.
You know. If nobody else is doing it, I feel like it needs to be out there.
Yeah. I'm surprised no one else is doing it these days.
I couldn't find it. Maybe you can find it somewhere. I couldn't find it.
I'll give it a shot. I also want to bring up the Kenneth thing that they did for one episode. That whole thing where he keeps saying, that's like my mom's friend. I forgot his name.
Yeah.
That whole running gag, like, like I don't know. Like, to me, that was really far from funny. Like, to me, that was really creepy. Like,
it was very, like, sad. It was more on the, like it's the kind of joke where you're supposed to laugh at how you're not supposed to laugh at Kenneth directly. It's a weird joke. You're supposed to be like, wow, like, that's really pathetic, and it's funny that you went through that. You know, like,
yeah.
That's really what the joke boils down to. I wasn't a big fan of those. I like the idea of the joke of presenting this sort of past antagonist that Kenneth has sort of had to deal with. I mean, I think it's funny overall, and I think part of it could have just been the delivery was a little too much.
Yeah,
and it could have been a lighter delivery.
Yeah,
you know,
totally. And I guess because his character is so. You know, he's cheery all the time. That's a big character trait. And when he would talk about this guy, he would get like a little dark. You know, he'd get kind of
he got very dark. Yeah,
and it was like, you know, I get the impression you're talking about something pretty serious. Like, I don't know if this is really funny to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it just, maybe delivered differently, it could be funny, but.
Well, let's not forget, this is the same network that aired Michael hitting Phyllis with a car.
Yeah, you're right.
And that was supposed to be funny too. So,
Yeah.
I really think people laugh at stuff like that. I think it's funny on a certain level. It just depends on what level you're on, how funny you're gonna find it.
Yeah.
That's because there's comedy there. It's just like it's a darker side. And it's like, wow. How funny do you think this is based on your own personality, basically?
For an example, I have seen, I think, around twice the movie Zoolander. Have you ever seen Zoolander?
I have not seen Zoolander.
Okay, well, the
Does that make it harder?
Not too much, because this is like the beginning of the movie. It's a bit of a spoiler if you haven't seen it, but it's the very beginning, so it's not a spoiler for the real plot. Anyway, he's a model, Ben Stiller, and he's Zoolander, whatever, and he has these model friends. They're all guys and they're all models, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so at the beginning of the movie, I guess the point is they're all just kind of not, they're stupid basically. And,
yeah.
And I mean that's the joke of the entire.
They're male models.
Yeah, exactly. They're male
models. It
models.
goes without saying, right?
Yeah, and the whole movie is based around that joke, basically. Him and Owen Wilson being.
You mean That
models.
Truth?
Yeah, That Truth. Exactly. So anyway, at the beginning, him and his model friends, they go down to the. Well, I don't know what they're doing, but they're in their car, and then they have to stop and get gas.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and so while they're pumping gas, like. They start getting silly, and they start spraying each other with gas, like it's a garden hose.
Okay.
Okay? And, like, I thought this was the funniest thing I'd ever seen at the time. Because it just looks ridiculous. It's like a beach, like Baywatch or something. But they're spraying each other with gasoline. Right? And so the end of this scene is, I don't remember exactly how it happens, but obviously, fire gets into the equation and everyone dies, but Zoolander, they all die. There's a big explosion and they all die.
What?
Okay. So now
at the beginning of the movie, all his friends die?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty shocking, but I thought it was really funny. I guess because of the way they delivered it. It didn't seem like, it was so silly and ridiculous that
see, that's the thing. Like, if it's in line with the tone of the show or something, previously stated, it can work. If the movie is that over the top, then it can work. But obviously they're still stretching it, but it can still work. But not every movie or show could get away with something like that.
Yeah, definitely. And that was the thing. The tone of the movie, I mean, it's way out there.
Yeah.
Farther than 30 Rock by far, I think.
Yeah,
and
sounds like it.
And yeah, I mean, really, yeah, exactly. That sets the tone for the movie, really.
Exactly.
And and that's part of it. I mean, it's a new movie. It hasn't established the tone yet.
And I'm sure that when they blew up, you didn't hear them screaming, cries, and like, "Oh, my burning flesh!" And like,
yeah, you're right. They didn't deal with the reality of it.
Zoolander's vomiting from the stench and the smell, and crying from hearing his like friends like burning and and like. And then you get, like he's arrested for arson.
That's a whole other Zoolander that you should write someday.
No, that was depressing. Zoolander kills himself when he's in jail for murdering his friend.
Zoolander.
It's a 5-minute movie.
That's it.
Short.
He kills himself in jail. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Couldn't handle the stress and the guilt.
Wow. It'll be a short. You can win like an Oscar for that.
I'd have to give Ben Stiller all the money.
Yeah, you're right. You would. But yeah, you're right. A good point. The way they depict the explosion is to minimize the carnage. And in the Office,
carnage is not funny.
Yeah, it's not. Just never funny. And they showed her getting hit by the car and flying up, and it seemed realistic. and the tone of The Office is basically of realism, and so so in that context, that was like shocking and not funny, but somehow these people having a gasoline fight and then killing themselves by blowing up was funny to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's all about tone and the way you present your world where events can happen.
Exactly.
So
yeah, I mean, there's this moment. I haven't really been happy with. I mean, I've been satisfied with Tracy's performance this season, but I feel like there's something going on. I don't feel like it's season 1 Tracy. But there's this one part where he really nails it home when he says something that I forget now.
Oh no!
I was having trouble remembering that whole time I was talking. I'm like, just keep talking and you'll remember it. And then I got done, and I'm like, I don't remember.
And the whole time I'm assuming, like, well, if he's setting it up, he must know what he's talking about. There's no way this is going to go nowhere.
No way this will go belly up. Let me find it real quick. I know it sounds awful. But it was very good. It was a good example of Tracy being good. I don't think did I write it down?
Yeah, I think I haven't liked him as much this season, but I'm not sure if he's declined more than the rest of the show has in general, or I'm on the fence on that one. I'm not sure yet.
If he's declined more, yeah, I don't think he's declined more than the show in general. No, I don't. I think he's on par.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's a sense I have. It seems like Kenneth has really just changed.
Yeah, Kenneth has they boosted him off the strata there. He's the star of the show.
Yeah. And old Pete.
Yeah. Upon further rewatching, I have seen Pete in all the episodes.
Really?
Because at first I really didn't think he was in the show, but he's in there. He's in like every episode in the background, and sometimes he gets a line or two, and it just when you watch it once, you just don't even notice it.
Wow.
He has like no real presence.
Yeah, he hasn't had any plots to himself like he did in season 1. That's just for this season. That's a crappy character to be. He gets nothing to do.
No.
Like, enough of you. More Kenneth. Can't get enough of that guy.
Although I love when Pete got a chance to do something, and I guess it was the 4th episode, or 3rd episode, I don't remember. The one with the page off, when Kenneth, the whole jacket thing with Kenneth.
Yeah.
And he comes and he's like, he just, brings the reality to the situation. Because it was really great because we had spent a long time, several scenes invested in this page off idea and this whole world that we've just been introduced to this world of like the pages.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, it was so if anyone's interested in like sound design or anything like that, like the sequence when Kenneth mentions a page off in that episode, if you just close your eyes and listen to the sound, like it's perfect. As soon as they say page off, you hear these pages in the background whispering, and like it's just the greatest little sound thing I've heard in a long time. And then like Jenna comes back in, what's a page off? And it just sounds like musical the way they like composed it and cut it together, and it's really cool. But so they create this like mysterious world of the pages, and so we're led to believe like this stuff goes on, the page off goes on. That's just what they do. And then Pete comes in, he's like, "What the hell are you guys doing? A page off? Like what? This is $1 billion company. Give him a jacket, Like, what are you guys doing, And I love and it was perfect when Jenna's like, oh, but I did this and I burned Jenna's jacket, so he had to have a page off and then blah, blah, blah. It just made so much sense to her because she was basically being us. She was brought into this world, She's Alice in Wonderland, basically.
Yeah.
And she's our guy in this world, and she's reiterating what we would have said, like, oh, well, we're here because of this, and it all makes sense, Pete. Let me just explain it to you, And he's like, no, it doesn't make sense. This is stupid. And it was pretty cool. And I really wish he would have said something like, you know, this is $1 billion company. We have trillions of page jackets, you know, like, because they really, you know, being a page at NBC is one of those, like, jobs that everyone in the industry has, you know, at some point, you know, or could get at least, you know, that you work for like 3 months or 6 months and, like, you never do, you know. So just that idea of, like, churning out pages, you know. We have trillions of page jackets. Please. But
yeah, that was ridiculous. It was a whole thing. That evil page guy who was like laughing.
It was cool,
maniacally.
and it was actually cool to see. And you know what's really funny? I don't know if I told you about this, but one of my first ideas, and I can prove it, like, because I have the file, I wrote it in, and somehow I could prove the date. But that was one of the ideas I had for an idea for this show, was that Kenneth had a rival, and it was going to be. Actually, it wasn't a rival page though. It was going to be Jonathan was his rival, and it was going to be this episode where they were like, you know, doing like shit to each other the whole episode. You know, kind of like this, but not like exactly like that. It wouldn't have gone to a page off, but that's all. But so I was glad to see them do that, like this, like, oh wow, and it's weird too because, you know, astute fans of the show will remember. Like when Kenneth sold that show Gold Case to NBC, one of his stipulations was that he was going to be the head page. So I was really confused when we come to find out he's not the head page now. It seems like they either ignored that or forgot that because that was part of his deal. Was, you know, unless it was just like he was just saying that and they weren't going to give it to him. Like, I don't know. It seemed like they were going to give it to him, but. Anyway, but I like the whole thing with this like really crazy page, and I like the idea of, he was like, he was good, and I thought his delivery of most of his lines were really, really great, like extra good, you know, like not just like anybody else would have just been okay. I thought he did a really good job, and what did you think about that little joke they tried to do with, like, making you think the head page was a computer? That didn't come off well to me. Do you remember that joke?
No.
Yeah, it's really subtle, and like when I first watched it, I didn't realize what they were trying to do, and then like I was just like, huh? I had to like rewind it and watch it again. Basically, like Jenna goes down to like the basement or whatever and asks someone, you know, where's the head page, and they point or something, and she walks into this room, and the first thing we see is like, you know, this kind of control room, and then like this computer, this huge like 60s style computer, and then you hear the head page's voice, you know, come in or whatever, and the joke is the voice is coming from the computer, which is what Jenna thinks, because she says, you're a computer, and then he steps from behind the computer. But like something with the way they shot it or edited it or something, like you just, I don't feel like you understand that that's what they're trying to do, because obviously you didn't even get that.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah, see, like it's like really subtle, like, but not like in a good way, in a like everyone's gonna miss the joke way, you know. Because I thought that was pretty funny an idea, but it just didn't really land well.
Your description of it makes it sound obvious, but I don't think I got it.
Yeah, it's really weird because you don't know. I feel like that the shot that they have that joke relies on, seeing the computer first, the computer doesn't really stand out. I mean, and it's weird because it is big and it's the biggest thing in the frame, but you just don't expect it to talk, you know, but in a way where it's not good for the joke. you know, if it was like, if something on the computer was blinking when you heard that, so that's the thing, I guess that's what it is. Like, it's really about the connection between where the sound is coming from, you know, not that your emphasis is not on the computer, but that the voice is coming from the computer. That's the thing you don't make the connection to.
Did the voice even sound like it, you know, like you would expect a computer to sound?
It was kind of computer-like, I think.
Because, like, I think like in 2001, I don't think anything blinked, but they would always just show that little, like, eye thing that it would see with, I guess. And then, you know, you would hear the voice, and that would make the connection.
Yeah. Yeah, but that one, of course, it's set up that how the computer talks.
Yeah, you're right. They don't have to. They don't have to establish it with some person coming in and like, you can talk. What happened?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is like you're not expecting this at all.
Yeah.
And you just don't. I don't know. I just didn't know that's where the voice was coming from. So I didn't get the joke. And then it's like, oh, well, that's the joke.
Yeah, but yeah, you're right. If they had somehow indicated that the thing could have been talking.
Mhm.
You know, otherwise, like, I'm not even gonna think that's what they're trying to do.
Exactly,
Apparently,
yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people are gonna miss the joke just because like a little technical thing or something.
Yeah.
But see, that's the kind of thing I nitpick about and think about, and so that's what the new blog will be about until I quit blogging again.
Oh, blogging! You're so much fun for a little while.
What do you think of the color scheme? You don't
God.
like dark backgrounds, right?
I don't remember what it looks like.
No, all blogs look alike in memory, really.
Yeah.
You know, like unless you really know what they look like, because they just look the same.
Yeah. I don't like dark backgrounds. Did you say that? Did I say that?
Didn't you say that you don't really like to read light text on dark backgrounds or something like that?
Yeah, I
Did
prefer
you tell me
the
that
other.
once?
You're right. Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah. It kind of depends on what color the text is. It can be worse or better depending on what color you make the text. But in general, I do prefer light background, dark text.
Yeah.
That's just me. It's easier on my eyes.
Yeah.
This color scheme, it's okay. Red and gray. I mean, it's all right.
Yeah.
It's you know, it's not ugly. It's not like hurting my eyes to look at.
That's good. Yeah, I was gonna have the text white, but then it was really glaring to read.
Yeah,
so it made it gray.
Yeah, it can be too much. Overstimulate your eye. with the dark stuff kind of lulling you in, and then the bright stuff just, you know, blowing your eyes out.
Mhm. You should start a blog about that.
I should. Maybe I will. Yeah, I'm not a blogger. I don't blog.
I'm not a blogger either, which is why I give up.
Yeah, it's too hard. I mean, the main thing is I don't like writing things down. I prefer to speak things aloud. That's why I podcast.
Yeah.
I can do that, no problem. But when you make me sit down and like write your thoughts now, like, ugh, I don't even want to do it. Too lazy. I don't like it.
You're like Tracy. No, I won't do the thing you tell me to do.
Oh, yeah. You haven't thought of the Tracy thing yet, have you?
No, I haven't. It's on the tip of my tongue, but let me go check real quick. I think it may have been in the first episode.
Has Dr.
Spachemin?
Yeah, has he been in this season?
Yeah, Jenna went to go see him about her excess weight.
Oh, yeah, you're right. And he was like, do drugs or something like that. Yeah.
Mhm. All right, let me see this, if it's in this part.
Every weekend I see this young she dude at the dumpster about 40. I pull over and I say, you don't have to live your life like this. You could be a freaky deaky and do data entry. What about court reporting? Believe in yourself.
Oh, you know what? I now know what scene it's in. Not in the scene. I think it's in the scene with him and Kenneth when Kenneth is being his work wife.
Oh, that one.
Oh, that one. Yes, that one. Okay. Let's see. This is
Mr. Jordan. I couldn't sleep at all last night. Angie kept asking.
Oh, wait. Oh no, it's on the tip of my tongue. Oh wait, where? Oh wait, what is it? What did he say? If I can remember what he said, I can remember what scene it's in. Talk amongst yourselves while I figure this out. Here's the topic: the writer's strike. How does it affect TV? Go.
Well, how doesn't it? That's what I want to know.
Keep talking about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder how long it's gonna go on. You know, I'm concerned. You know, I don't really watch. I think some of the shows, like the daily shows. I don't mean the Daily Show, but I do mean the Daily Show. But what I really mean is shows that come on daily. They'll be, I think, immediately affected. You know, 'cause they have to write shit. You know, current topical stuff like on a daily basis, and so they're probably gonna. I don't know what they're gonna do. Maybe shut down altogether. That'll be crazy. Crazy.
Keep going. Go. Doing a good job.
And,
Robert Altman's influence on cinema. Go.
Oh, you know, actually, I was watching the behind the scenes, not behind the scenes, but the extra like shit on the new Twin Peaks box set today.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, the last writer strike was in 1988, as everybody keeps reporting. And one of the extras, they were talking about how they wrote you know, the pilot for Twin Peaks, and the network was interested in it, and then the writer strike happened. And so they both went off and started doing other things, and kind of just let it go. Didn't think it was going to happen. The network, once the strike ended, the network called them back about it, and that's the only reason it ever happened. Otherwise, it just would have come to nothing. Like, the writer strike almost killed it.
Wow.
So luckily the network was interested enough to pursue it after the whole thing was over.
Yeah.
Otherwise, yeah, they just were like, whatever, okay, that's done. So yeah, anyway, I thought that was interesting. It was weird to hear about a writer strike, you know, right on the thing, like.
Yeah, it's strangely topical.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
How could you, like, you know, like, being able, watching something that was affected by the strike in '88 is weird.
Yeah.
The odds of that, watching it today.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's why. Yeah, it seemed like a weird thing. The
like
timing.
somehow the DVDs are talking to you.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Don't listen, Justin. Don't listen.
Yeah, I know. That's
stay
never
away
want that to
from
happen.
the light. Go towards the light.
If you
never know which one to believe in that movie.
What movie are you talking about?
Poltergeist. Remember
that?
that?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
I was so confused.
Go
she
to
was
the
like,
light.
Go to it or don't. But wasn't she trying to kill her or something? Like.
Oh,
was
that the revelation?
But wasn't there one of them where, like, she was saying, like, because she was in, like, a couple of them, I think. And she was like the go-to lady when shit hit the fan.
She really was, yeah. Oh, man, we can't handle this anymore. Call in what's her name?
Oh, crazy eyes. And, like, I think, like, and I think, like, in one of them, in the second one, maybe, like, she was saying go to the light. But it was bad, like, and then like they realized that she was like doing something bad.
Really?
I think that's my memory of it, at least.
She said that in the first one too, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know if like it was one of those things where we thought it was okay because we knew she said it before and it worked out.
Mhm.
But this time it was bad. I don't know. It's been so a long time. But I just remember watching it and like it was somehow bad, and I think the dad, like Craig T. Nelson, I think, or somebody, I think they like knocked her out or did something, and then he like got at the daughter.
Oh shit!
Was he in the first one?
I don't remember. He might have been.
I don't know. I feel like he was in one of them.
He probably was. This sounds about right.
Were they all houses on Indian burial grounds?
I think Part 3 was a whole different thing. Part 3 was sort of like a hotel or apartment building or something like that.
Oh.
Actually, Part 3 had a scene that, like, when I was a kid was one of the scariest things I'd ever seen. It has a scene where there's this guy.
Somebody becomes somebody else you trusted.
That's sort of it. That's sort of it. Basically, and this scared. So anyway, this guy, they're in this like high rise. I don't remember if it's like an apartment or hotel. I think it's probably an apartment. building, and so it's this high rise, and so they have window washers, you know.
Of course.
So this guy like comes down,
yeah,
and he's washing the window, and like all is okay, right? He's washing the window, and then he scoots on past the window and goes to the next floor down. You know, the little thing like pulls him up and down. And so the little girl like goes. Well, I guess she's a teenager, but whatever. She goes to the edge to look down at him. I don't know why, but when she goes to look down at him, now he's like scary. Just like out of nowhere, he's scary.
Yeah, and he was nice and friendly the whole time.
Of course.
So.
Always. And so, yeah, whenever I went to a hotel and like there were those window washer guys, like it just scared the shit out of me after that.
Yeah, it's almost one of those things that they do in horror movies where it's like it all would have been okay if she didn't look down.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like she brought it on herself somehow.
That's what they do.
And that's what's even worse because it's like a trap. You know, it's like oh crap. You know, I didn't have because if it was inevitable, it'd be different. But it's like, man, you didn't have to look down.
Yeah, exactly. And it's the same kind of thing. It's like you just had to know, right? You know, and that's the same thing as that Tales from the Dark Side thing. It's like you just had to know, didn't you? Well, now you're gonna get it.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly.
Like that's why you get punished because you just couldn't help yourself. And yeah, you're right. That's the subtext of that, and that's what it's teaching you as a kid.
And it's funny you mention that because I think that's the same kind of idea behind what I was telling you about earlier. That Kenny versus Spinny thing. Well, that's pretty much the situation he's in. Is he's got the blindfold on, and his curiosity wants to take it off. But if he does, he could lose.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But so I found the thing of Tracy's that I liked. It's not as great as I thought it was, but I still think it's pretty good.
Okay.
It's basically the scene when like he and Jack are talking about Tracy's dad, and like basically it's the first time Tracy realizes that this whole issue he has of like control or whatever is due to the fact that, you know, he didn't have a relationship with his dad. You know, which is very funny, as you can tell. You were laughing all through that.
Yeah.
See, there's like a lot of drama going on here. Like, you know.
Yeah, when you state it outright, it just sounds like, you know, serious drama. Like, hold on.
This like, you know, star of the show is having emotional problems, and he's talking to like his boss about it. Like, that's, you know.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a sitcom, but like just that on its own is pretty dramatic.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you know they kept doing this thing where they would flash to Tracy as a kid standing on a very well done montage, one of the best I think they've done, where like he's standing on the corner of like the stoop of like a apartment in New York or whatever. And it's basically like the vantage point of like, you know, as if you're like behind, it's like an over the shoulder shot, and sometimes it's the mailman or sometimes it's the whatever guy, or, you know, you never see who the guy's face is, but it's someone talking to Tracy and Tracy doing something outlandish, but basically saying, you know, you're not my father, you can't tell me, you know. Like the mailman tells him, Tracy, stop staring at the sun, it'll make you crazy, you know. Like, which sounds like the kind of thing like parents tell their kids, you know.
Yeah.
That's one of those things, like, stop doing this, it'll make you crazy. Like, you know, there's parents who say stuff like that.
Oh, totally, yeah.
And anyway, so at the end of it, you know, Jack wants Tracy to go to therapy to work it out, and Tracy's like, no, I don't want to go to therapy. Then he's like, okay, Tracy, what if I told you the one thing you can't do is go to therapy? And he's like, he goes, I want to do therapy, and he just like he dons this like baby voice like out of nowhere, and it was perfect, and it was really, really funny, and because he's like trying to assert himself, and he's got like this kid voice because he's regressed to a child, and it was just perfect, like, because he didn't have to do that voice, you know. But it was nice. It was like, wow, look, that's cool. It did the little voice.
Yeah, that's
it helped. It helped a lot.
It's kind of a classic setup, the whole reverse psychology thing. Like, oh, he's going to tell him that, and then he'll want to do it, of course. But it gives you a little something extra.
Yeah.
To have him do the voice.
Yeah, and that's what you want. You know, you want just a little extra.
Yeah, and for the psychology of his character, it makes sense and all that. So, yeah, that was pretty good. I forgot about that whole thing. I like
At Claw TV, we never forget.
Mhm. That's scary.
We can remember it for you wholesale.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So hopefully, you know, I'm actually going to start, I think I'm going to, since the season just started, I'm going to start, you know, analyzing 30 Rock episode by episode and do a little bit of The Office. I don't like The Office as much. I think there's some stuff to analyze there, but that show makes me mad sometimes.
Yeah.
I get mad watching it. I'm just like, why are you like this? You used to be so good.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, I want to talk about Dexter too. I think Dexter's got a lot of stuff to talk about.
Oh,
yeah. You know, I watch a lot of stuff, and I see a lot of really good stuff. Just pretty much every show I watch, there's things that like, you know, you see them and you're like, wow, that's really cool. It's, you know, I haven't seen that anywhere else. And I watch a lot of stuff. You know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, no
it
one
actually
else
means
did,
something.
Yeah, like no one else did a joke like that I've seen, you know.
Like if I said that, it'd just be like, well, you haven't seen, you know.
Yeah.
Desperate Housewives.
And you find these like, yeah, exactly, and you find these like recurring themes of things like I really think. I mean, I would love to explore that line. I'm not gonna do, you know, whatever, you know, because so many. I've seen that in like at least 3 different shows and 3 used sort of different ways, and I never noticed that before. But it's like people are using that, and like I said, I think I was telling you this, like in the most recent Office, like Jim did it like 4 or 5 times in a row. Yeah, and yeah, exactly. Again, it's like they keep going to that with this character, like this, like, and I think that really sums up his character, like that line, because it's a very like, it's not a harsh line, but it draws a line in the sand, and it's kind of asshole, you know. But it's perfectly Jim, you know. It's like it's not outright mean, but it's
kind of
just
passive
like,
aggressive. I think.
Yeah, it's yeah, exactly. It's passive. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. It's passive aggressive. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like, yeah, you're not doing anything overtly hostile, but
because you have control over what you're going to do.
Yeah.
You know, and you're just saying I'm going to exert control of myself and not do that. You know. Which is sort of what's passive aggressive about it. It's like, yeah, you kind of have the right to do that, but like saying it that way makes it weird, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, God, I didn't think he was that bad in the last few episodes, but that first one
he's
was
gotten better. Yeah, he's had his moments, though, man, where I'm just like. You know, and I feel like he knows it. I really feel like he knows he's mean, like, because the look on his face is you can see it, like that he really feels it sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, like it's not just fun and games. Like you can see him being pissed. You know, and it's really weird. On a show that's supposed to be light and airy and cool and funny.
Yeah, it's a weird thing to do with his character because, you know. There's lots of people there in the office to get pissed off about things. You know, they don't have a shortage of characters who are going to get pissed off. So
exactly.
You know, Jim's supposed to be the, you know, pretty much go along with it. Like he'll smirk or laugh at how like ridiculous the situation is, but not like, you know, not be an ass about things.
Yeah, and you know that's what they've switched to. I think you can definitely tell how. There was this whole period where he was looking at the camera all the time. Like it just like got incessant. Any free second, he was looking at the camera.
Yeah.
Now they don't do that as much. Now what they're doing is just having him be mean and like doing more pranks and doing more things instead of just like looking at because he used to just be the guy in the background, you know, making the appropriately funny comment every now and then.
God.
And, you know, and then he would look at the camera every now and then, and it was perfect, you know. And then he just got too much. It's like he got full of himself. Like, let's cut to Jim. Let's look at the camera, Jim.
Yeah.
Oh, great, Jim just looked at the camera. The audience is laughing now. Like,
yeah,
you know, like there's some episodes in season 3 where like he's just looking at the camera for no reason. Like,
yeah, it's awful.
You know, like I'm looking for the action in the scene, and like the camera's on Jim. I'm like, no, like don't cut to him.
That's not. Oh, I just love it when he looks at the camera. It's hilarious.
Yeah, it feels like the same thing with Kenneth.
Yeah.
Like, people, I really think audiences like certain things, you know, from a show, and the writers hear this. They're like, oh, we love it, those little looks Jim gives the camera, and then like they just do it all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like some little thing catches on, and then they just way overdo it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the goodness that you had is gone now.
Yeah, yeah.
Because Kenneth
like,
was funny originally,
Kenneth
in a way, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I remember I didn't really like his character at first, and then I got what he was doing, and I thought it was really well done. I really enjoyed it, like Jack McBrayer's performance, in that, you know, some of the little subtleties of like his little mannerisms and stuff I thought were really well done. But like this season, he's just sort of over the top. I think they're trying to find a new place for him, and I think because some of the jokes like that I don't think are really season 1 Kenneth style. Some of them work and some of them don't. You know, some are just like, what are you doing, Kenneth?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You know, and like a perfect example of like a Kenneth joke that I don't think he would have done in season 1, but like is really good and it makes sense for season 2. Is this little bitty thing. That not, I don't think any other character could have got away with this, but it's this little thing where when Kenneth is helping to explain to Liz that, you know, Tracy got kicked out of his house, you know, this whole thing with Angie, and because, you know, Tracy was messing around with the transvestite prostitute, not, of course, trying to have sex with them, but trying to enroll the guy in a computer class. But anyway, so Kenneth is explaining this and explaining how paparazzi took a picture of the two of them, and then Kenneth goes, they thought Shim was, you know, Tracy's wife, you know, and he says Shim, you know, because it's a Gmail, you know, and it was just a little subtle thing, and he just says it, you know, and they go about their business, and I was like, that's perfect, Kenneth, you know, this little thing that he would sort of insert in there, I thought was really well done.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's the over the top stuff, like when his page jacket got burned, and he's like, "Oh God, it hurts," and he just like screams it, and
yeah,
and I think the idea that works, because I understand like that's how much that jacket means to him, but I just feel like the execution of it was just like it just came off too much, you know?
Yeah, I didn't really buy it.
I didn't buy it. It was just like, take two, please.
yeah. That's the thing. It seems like something that could work if they did it the right way, but they just didn't nail it. Yeah,
and he's had a couple of good things that I really like this season, and then some things that I'm just like, too much.
Yeah,
you know, but he's in everybody's storylines.
Yeah. You better like him sometimes, or you're not gonna like the show.
Yeah, I mean, because he pops in like everybody's stuff, and
yeah, he's become pretty much a lead character.
Yeah.
So get used to him.
See, there's so much going on with 30 Rock. See? There's a lot to talk about.
It's all so intricate. Who knew?
Who knew?
I just thought it was a silly show about
man. And this is just the beginning of like, oh man, yeah. There's I don't know. I feel like there's a lot to talk about with that show. With almost any show though, really. You know, any good show, I think.
Mhm.
There should be a lot to talk about. Not that you have to talk about it.
Yeah. I'm not used to thinking about comedy that way.
Mhm.
You know, never really.
But that's the thing. Comedy has story too. You know.
Technically, yeah.
Yeah, you know, and story is story, and for me, you know, wanting to be a writer, a professional writer, I should say, I feel like I gotta analyze this stuff and see what they're doing right, you know.
Yeah.
And why it works, you know.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. Everything, there's a story. I guess I feel like the wackier it gets, the less invested I am in the story, whatever it is. And I take, you know, as the wackiness goes up, I take the story more and more as a, necessary evil framing device.
Well, I think plot and story and like character have sort of inverse relationship. Like I think the less story there is, like on 30 Rock, the more it's about the characters.
Yeah.
And with the drama, the more story there is, the less it's about the characters.
Yeah.
And more about the plot. So I think that's appropriate.
Yeah.
I think that's how it goes.
Yeah, pretty much. Because I guess with The Office, because the tone is more down to earth, I take it a little more seriously, like the stuff that happens. Like it's like I get a little more invested in it than I do with 30 Rock because the characters just don't seem like ridiculous caricatures all the time.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they have more serious things kind of going on.
Yeah. Yeah, even though there are wacky elements, but mostly Dwight is the wacky one.
Mhm.
That whole thing with them going out to his farm and his crazy brother and all that stuff.
Which one was that one? This season or?
Yeah. When Jim and Pam went out to his farm.
I think I only saw that one once. Is that like the third episode or something? Or?
Yeah. I don't know which one it was because I watched them all in a row. But
and it was like his bed and breakfast or something.
His bed and breakfast, yeah.
And then like they were like being asses the whole time, right? And then like at the end they were nice. It was something weird like that, right?
Yeah, they weren't too bad considering how bad I feel like they could have been.
Could have been, yeah.
Yeah, it seems like it could have gone a lot. I was expecting that it to be really bad, and it was okay.
Yeah.
And in the end, it just turns sad, because he's moaning in the middle of the night and.
Yeah. That's the thing. It just got really weird. And see how depressing that is? I mean, if you just look at Dwight's, if you just take his character, right, and just look at the show from his perspective throughout the beginning, he's been through a lot of stuff. I mean, he got fired and worked at Staples.
Mm-hmm.
That was a whole thing, and now this whole the whole long storyline with him and Angela.
Yeah.
Where I just I didn't even know Jim didn't know that he was dating Angela this whole time.
Yeah.
That was a revelation to me that Jim didn't know that Dwight and Angela were dating since his house party thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, wow, it's like a revelation from a revelation a character's getting. It's weird,
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't keep track of who knew. I knew some people knew, and I knew not necessarily everybody knew. And I was just I was like, wow.
I assume he would know because Pam knew, he did. He's like, why didn't you tell me?
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I guess that's probably what I would have assumed if I actually thought about it. But it's I don't know, but I guess I'm watching it for now. Probably go off the air soon anyway, so.
Oh, if we're lucky, right?
Who can tell the difference? Yeah. I was reading about this whole thing with Heroes. I guess they're filming a possible wrap up if they don't continue the story, beyond episode whatever they're up to.
Mm-hmm.
They filmed some kind of alternate thing where it somehow wrap up the season. This just sucks, man. I hate this.
Yeah, this could be pretty bad. This is one of those situations that you just never think it's gonna happen. You'd be living through.
Yeah.
What? Strikes.
Yeah,
strikes happen in the past. Strikes don't happen in the present.
Yeah. I was in New York City during the transit strike, and it was a nightmare. It was the worst thing. If you live there and you don't have a car, and the MTA goes on strike, just forget about going anywhere.
Yeah.
Because what happens is, although there are other methods of transportation, those,
Everybody uses it.
there's 8 million people there. They get used up pretty fast.
Mm-hmm.
So forget about getting a taxi. You end up maybe taking some kind of ferry and then like walking a lot. And then I had to go to the airport. It was a whole ordeal. And it was just like, why can't this strike stop for me? Like, can't you just wait? Can't you just let me leave? Do you have to strike
like, I'm
now?
not a part of this mess. Let me leave. Let me get out of here. Let me get out of your hair, guys.
Like, I'm not in New York most of the time. Like, it just seemed ridiculous that it had to happen right while I was there.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, come on, guys. I'm never here. What's the deal with this? And I guess I don't know. It just seemed crazy to have to have a strike that affected like people's lives to such an extent,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was just insane. Like, it was just understood that
what if you got, you have a sick baby and you need to go to the hospital or like, like anything, like any of life's things that are important, like, you just,
totally.
It's like, we had our power cut off here where I live with my roommates because like we didn't pay the bill on time or something happened with the billing, and like with no electricity you realize there's nothing to do.
Yeah.
Like at your house, like you can read a book or you can like do something like that, but you can't like do anything. I mean you're like you wash clothes, anything like. Things you like don't even want to do, you can't do.
Yeah.
You can't even like vacuum.
Let me do
you can't even do
productive.
chores.
Like,
Yeah.
no, I can't do that.
No, exactly. Like, oh well, I can't watch TV. Might as well do something productive. Oh wait, no, I can't. Like, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah, it's
and so much like the transit thing. I can understand. You're like, oh wait, I can't go anywhere.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. And it's like if you're sick or dying, okay, call 911 or something. Great. But guess what happens to traffic when the transit strike happens?
That was the whole thing. Like, everyone's in the cab and everyone's in their cars, and then traffic is even worse.
And even if you want to walk, like the bridges fill up. They're like
exactly everybody's walking.
Yeah. It's just insane, like what that does. It blew my mind. I couldn't believe. I couldn't wait to get out of there. It was the worst like thing ever. And anyway, this stupid strike just kills me. I just don't want to deal with it. But the last time my power went out because of a storm, it was off for a couple hours, and it was dark outside, and I had like nothing to light the apartment. I had a flashlight, a tiny one, but it really wasn't doing the job. I mean, it's a tiny flashlight. I can only really use it for little things, looking under the sink or looking under a car or something like that. But not as a replacement for real light. And So I sat down in the middle of the apartment and okay, well, I can sit here in the dark and like contemplate something, or I can just leave. And so then I left, but I had nowhere to go. So I just ended up.
I think you told me about that, and I suggested you should have saw a movie.
Yeah, that was right. That was your solution, and that would have worked. But what I ended up doing was thinking of places to go, and then driving there, and then deciding not to go there. That's all I did.
Well, that's a good waste of time. If I ever heard one.
It was bad. My first thought was, I know what I'll do. I'll go to the library and work on my homework. This will get some work done, right? That would be great. So I go up to the library. I even put like money in the meter.
Is it storming outside?
Yeah.
So you're driving around in the storm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this isn't good. So I park and I even put money in the meter and I'm ready to go do my homework, and then I'm like, you know what? Never mind. And so I just leave.
Wow.
I was like, I'd never been to the main library. We have a special library just for the department, and that's the one I always go to. I'd never been to the main library, so it would have been a whole ordeal to figure out like where to go and And I was just like, forget it.
But you already put money in the meter, and you at that point you realize you don't want to do it.
Yeah, that's the order in which things happened.
Nice.
And so I was like, well, fuck it, whatever. I just lost, 50 cents or whatever. The meters here are cheap, so that's good.
Yeah.
Too. It's like 25 cents for half an hour, I think. So
wow.
It's like 50 cents an hour, which is pretty good, I think. So anyway, yeah. So then I left, and I'm like, okay, I'll go, whatever. But the problem was the power was out in a lot of places.
Mm-hmm.
So even like stores weren't working.
Yeah.
The school, I guess, had its own like generator backup thing going. So they were all right, but everybody else was just. So I just ended up sort of driving around my wonderful town here and seeing various places, and it was a couple hours, and then in
the storm.
In the storm, yeah. Yeah, you realize how nothing there's to do, but I could have gone to the movie theater, and assuming the power was on, I could have done that. That would have been a good option.
Movies are always the best way to kill time, man. They're the best way to kill time.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
If you need to be out, and you don't have something to do.
And I never see movies in theaters, so it would have been, it would have had novelty.
Yeah.
It would have been fun. Like, fuck it, I'll go to a movie. That'll be different.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was going to do when our power went out. I was like, oh, wow, I get to go to a movie now. Yay.
Yeah, it's like a treat.
Exactly.
It sort of reminds me of, like, when it would snow or ice or something, and you wake up, and you're like, I get the day off. Like,
yeah,
wow.
Exactly. Something forces you to do something that you wouldn't ordinarily do, but that you don't mind doing.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Like,
and
I'll go to movies.
Even like sometimes I would get sick, and it'd be like, well, it sucks I'm sick, but I could just sit home and just lay back and like,
being sick at home on a school day is better than being at school anytime.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, unless you're like deathly ill, you're like, oh, what, little sore throat or something, a little cough, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, and you have an excuse
better.
to just sit there like all day.
That was, the most depressing part about being at home, like, a school day to me was always like when like 3 or 4 o'clock would come around, which is like when you get out of school, and it's like, oh well, my free day's over,
Yeah.
That's around the time you would have got home anyway, so it's like, oh well, my free day's done.
Yeah.
And it's sad.
It's not the good time anymore.
No.
It's just
the regular time. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird, but it was a lot better during the day. Like, you'd see TV shows that you never got to see. I was always excited about watching Price is Right.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, yes, I get to watch Price is Right. Lucky me. I wonder if they'll win the Showcase Showdown today.
Exactly.
They so rarely did when I watched.
Yeah.
They always went over, and it was always sad.
They did always go over because it always looked like it cost more than it did, but they must have got deals or something. They're just like, no, sorry. This luxurious round-the-world cruise is only $50. Like, okay.
Yeah, those prices are weird sometimes.
Yeah.
I was a kid mostly when I watched, so I didn't really know how realistic it was. But when I think back to what some of those things were, it seems ridiculous. Like, it was like $8,000 for all of that shit? Like, come on.
Yeah, even like I always thought the prices of like when they would do like the
little
checkout game or whatever. The prices. I'm like, really? A can of lima beans, $2.49? Like, geez.
Yeah.
Are they making up these prices? Because I was in Texas at the time. I'm like, wow, California, your prices are like, if this is what you guys are paying for like, this stuff, wow.
Yeah, they were high, right? That was
They were really high.
Yeah, they were strangely high, yeah. But the showcases seemed low.
Yeah, exactly. And the showcase was like, everything was lower than you thought it was.
Yeah. But yeah, the individual. I used to love that game though. That was one of my favorites. I don't know.
Yeah.
There were certain like games that they did that I always looked forward to.
And did you see the Plinko the thing? It's one of the new ones with I'm gonna say Dana Carvey.
Drew Carey.
Drew Carey, the other DC.
Yeah.
And it was this thing where it's on YouTube where this lady has to use the bathroom really, really bad. But of course, like she just won the whatever the first thing is to get on stage. And she's like, "Oh, I gotta pee so bad." He's like, "Okay, hurry up, we'll do this, and it'll be, because they couldn't let her go."
Yeah.
And then she gets to play Plinko, which is like the game she obviously wanted to play. She's like, "Oh my God, it's Plinko!" So she gets up there and like, she drops the first one, and like, I think it like gets stuck. Like it's about to drop into like the $10,000 one, and it gets like stuck or something.
Oh God.
And then I think it drops. I think it gets stuck, and then it drops, and somehow it doesn't count. And she was like, "No, no, no," and he's like, "It doesn't count, because he like said it before it got in there.
Yeah.
And then she did it. So she dropped her second one. She got to do it over. So she dropped it again, and it went into the 10,000 again.
Wow.
And so she has to pee this whole time, and she's like getting so excited. And it was really weird.
Oh, that'd be awful.
Yeah.
Like, it's the thing you're most excited about, and you're just sitting there having to pee, and that's all you can think about.
Mhm.
God, that would suck. Oh man. I used to like Plinko. There were a few of the games were boring, but I always liked the one with the like, I don't remember what it was called now, with the like skier mountaineer guy.
I always hated that one.
Really? I love that
it's
one.
the little like because I never got it. Like everyone always lost that game. No one ever won that. They would always make the guy fall over.
Yeah, him and his silly little song as he went up the thing, like
he was like yodeling on his way up there.
Yeah. It was like it was.
I just didn't get what was going on in that game as a kid, and like they would always lose, and I'm like, this game is.
They
boring.
would always lose, but I don't know. Something about it was fascinating to me. I just loved it. It was entertaining to me.
Like, where is he going? What are they doing in this game? I never got it. I never got that game.
The other one that I really got excited about was the golf one, where they do the little.
Oh man, the golf one was great. Golf one was great.
And at the end, Bob Barker would do it, and if he got a hole in one, then something would happen.
They get $100, I think.
Was that the deal? He would bust out the 100 for that. I couldn't remember why he busted out the 100.
He also would bust out 100 on the wheel too.
Yeah, that's what
I
thought. Yeah, the 100 for the wheel too.
That was always great. It's like you just like everything you do on that show, you just get money, and like he just hands you money. Oh, there was another thing too where you got $100 if. It's when you're trying to guess the price of the thing. I think if you get within a certain range, or if you guess it on the spot, maybe you get $100.
Yeah. I think I know what you're talking about. Isn't that just the regular thing when they're bidding to go up there?
Yeah. When they first start, yeah.
Yeah. If they get it on the spot, they get it. Yeah, they get lots of hundreds.
There was like several times when like he could bust out 100, and it was like, oh look, you got him to give you 100.
Yeah, it was so weird. It's so weird to have him just like bust out cash and hand it to him, like.
Yeah, and it was just like he just had. I just always imagine like how many hundreds does he have in his pocket? Yeah,
I wondered the same thing, and it just seems so old-fashioned thinking about it. Like
it's very old-fashioned and like magical.
Yeah,
mystical. He's like this like warlock who's like enchanting you
with
this magic game.
Yeah.
Look, he just produced this from his pocket, and he's got all these wonderful games for you to play. And at the end, he like eats your soul.
Right, exactly.
That's why he stays so young.
Not only didn't you win the Showcase Showdown.
Oh.
But I must take your soul now.
He like feeds on happiness or something.
And have your pet spayed and neutered.
Exactly. Because animals, they can spot his kind.
Mm-hmm.
See? That's why he wants it. He doesn't want a whole bunch of dogs and cats exposing him.
That's the thing. That show had a lot of variety, and it had a lot of stages, and it just there's just something great about it. I really haven't. I can't think of another game show that's like that with so much different things that happen.
Yeah, and it was fun. It had that quality of a good game show where the audience feels like they're playing along.
Yeah,
definitely. And like because you feel like when they win, you win. Kind of.
Totally,
or you're at least playing against them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well, I know what I think it is, and then you see what the thing is, and would have won, or So yeah, it was a good show.
Yeah, and like when they spin the wheel or whatever, like the
Oh,
whole,
the wheel was
audience
awesome.
like sympathizes with them. If it gets close to those 5, the green ones or the big dollar, like everybody sort of gasped, and it was all very exciting.
Yeah.
Because it wouldn't come up that often, but when it did, it was a big deal.
Now I don't know if you got 100 if it landed on the one now, because I think you win 10,000, don't you?
Was it 10,000 or 1,000?
Oh, was it 1,000? Maybe it was 1,000.
10,000 seems high.
I never understood why it was always cents. I never understood why it was. I guess it was all based around $1, and it was like, oh, you landed on 15 cents. Oh, you landed on 85 cents. Like,
yeah.
Why is it always add up to $1? I never understood that part of the game, but
yeah, you were supposed to.
It's like a dollar wheel.
You were supposed to try to get $1 in general.
But why $1? Why not like $100 or that or like?
Yeah, it could have been.
Anything.
It was arbitrary.
Yeah.
But I
just wonder why they settled on $1.
Whenever they invented the show, they decided to do that for some reason.
Yeah, it'll just be $1.
I'd have to go back to whoever invented the wheel, because I think
maybe
that's when it started.
When they invented the wheel?
The wheel on the show.
Oh, the show. Okay.
Not the wheel in general.
I don't think why it's $1 is related to the invention of the wheel. Well, you see, if you section a wheel, everyone knows it equals $1.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. There's some reason why they did that. Maybe it's just easy. It's easy math for people, and if it was if it was based on 1,000, it'd be difficult to figure out
yeah.
What people's score is and what you need to win, and so if you just do it based on $1, it's really easy for people to figure that out.
And also in general, in that part of the show, you don't really win money, except in the special cases where you get $1, by adding it up, or you get $1 by landing on the $1. And in general, you're just competing to get to the finale.
Yeah, it's just a number of points basically. That's all it is. It's just a point system, and whoever gets the highest points wins without going over $1.
And if they call it hundreds of dollars, then you probably want that. But when they call it $1, it's who really cares if you get that or not?
But that's what you want, though. You still want it.
Yeah.
That's how you win to go to the showcase.
But even if you do want it, then it's not much they have to give up. Even
if you do want the $1?
Yeah. Then they only have to pay $1.
Well, but you're not really playing for the $1. You're really just playing for the chance to go to the showcase.
Yeah, no, I know. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh. Okay.
That's what I'm trying to say. I feel like maybe that's why they went with a low number like that. Yeah,
so they can just take the emphasis off of what the value is.
Yeah. Where it's not about winning that amount.
Yeah. Maybe that's why.
And they wanted to stick with the price theme, so they went with money, but we went with low values.
Yeah, I think they went with something people could easily grasp, and that people deal with those denominations all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good show.
To me. Yeah, I loved it. It was God. I don't think I can watch it, the new version. It would just be too depressing to me.
Yeah.
I can't yeah. It'll lose its charm. I think for any of those people who are old enough to grow up watching Johnny Carson, I'm sure it wasn't the same afterwards.
With Jay Leno, you mean?
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. What does Jay Leno do?
Nothing.
I feel like Johnny Carson did stuff.
It seemed like he did more, but yeah.
The only thing I like that Jay Leno does is the on the street interviews.
Oh,
and not that he came up with that.
No.
But I like that.
Yeah, that's one of his things. It's all right. Whatever. Those shows seem so ridiculous to me now. It's hard for me to watch.
I can't watch them. I can't watch those shows. They're so set up. Those talk shows are just so like, I heard you just had a new baby. Well, yes, I did. Let me tell you a funny story about it. It's like, okay, great.
Oh, you have a funny story about your baby. Wow.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Oh, God, yeah, it's just, it's so awful. And just, let me see on this card here. So, you recently...
That's about Conan. Conan is not, he's so unabashed about reading what's on the card. He'll just look at the card and he doesn't pretend like he memorized that stuff. He's just like, yeah, okay, looks here. Mm-hmm. Okay, your new movie's coming out October 5th. Great, all right.
Yeah. It's so awful. And I used to, specifically watch to see things on those shows, and they just never really deliver anything. So I give up.
It's all cotton candy.
Yeah, because they don't spend enough time on the comedy to just go for the comedy.
Mm-hmm.
And the other stuff is just kind of fluffy if you don't care about the people. So
yeah, those shows are hit and miss because if you don't care about who the guests are, you're not gonna even want to watch that part.
Yeah.
And most opening monologues are bad. You know?
God.
I mean, Conan's are even his aren't good.
No. He tries to save them. Back when I used to watch him in the 90s, his bit seemed to be go for it. If it doesn't work, try to save it by acknowledging how bad it was.
Yeah. I mean, that's a tried and true method, and it works, and he's good at that kind of thing.
Yeah.
He's good about when it doesn't work, making something about it, but
yeah.
Jay Leno's the worst, man. I don't even. But apparently, he does comedy every Monday or Tuesday somewhere down here where I live. I think near Hermosa Beach or something. It's some little comedy club apparently.
Mhm.
He just loves. I don't know. He just goes and performs there.
Loves that stand-up.
It's just little plays. Yeah, I'm just wow, really?
That's the thing.
I heard his stand-up's really good.
Yeah, I've heard that too. I've heard people say back in the 80s he was the greatest stand-up ever.
Mhm.
And okay, maybe he was, but I think the material he does in those monologues is not his comedy. I think that's stuff the writers hand to him.
Yeah.
And so maybe his actual stand-up would be better. Maybe.
We'll see. I mean, his delivery doesn't even seem that good.
Yeah, I don't like his delivery at all. So the jokes would have to be pretty good to overcome that. But
yeah. You ever notice when you
yeah. Yeah.
All right.
He's a little boy.
Leno.
Yeah.
I can't do voices. I don't know what he sounds like.
Yeah, I don't know how to do it.
I'm Jay Leno. Yeah, he's kind of a gangster, but a non-threatening gangster. My wife Mavis and I, we like cops. I'm on the Tonight Show. Yeah. I gotta kill Dick Tracy, I tell you. Yeah. I'm Jay Leno, see? Yeah. You bother me, kid. Move away from me. Yeah. Old Red Spats Joe, he knows the score.
Yeah, here's the score. I tell jokes, you laugh, see?
Yeah, see? If you don't see, I'll stick you full of holes, see? With my Tommy gun, yeah. It's a lot of C's and yeahs. And the occasional Tommy gun reference. Maybe something about a Model T Ford.
Yes, of course. A nice modern reference.
Yes. Horse and carriage, if you will.
With 2.5 horsepower.
Oh.
That's a lot of horses.
Oh. Any faster and your face would fly off. People used to think some weird things.
Exceeds speeds of 15 miles per hour.
What? People, I remember hearing something about how people thought if you went above 18 miles per hour, like something bad would happen, like
Yeah.
he couldn't stand it or something ridiculous.
Yeah, there's
It's
this clip I saw at one point. I have no idea what the source is. Maybe I'm making this up. Maybe it was a dream. Who knows? But it was basically, one of these guys, and it was something like, if man exceeds 30 miles per hour, he shall surely perish.
Yeah. That sounds like something from Mr. Show.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Maybe that's right.
Yeah.
I don't know where. I feel like it was real, though. I feel like it was
Mr.
a real
Show
thing.
is very real.
You're right.
Very real in our hearts.
And minds.
That's why I said hour.
Oh. Zing?
Zing? Touche, I think you mean.
Oh, okay. Touche. There you go.
And touche, Mortimer.
I knew I was supposed to say something, but zing didn't seem right, so it was a question.
Yeah, it's one or the other.
Yeah.
You can get away with one or the other just by any conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Zing! Ah, touche.
Oh, God. Touche, zing.
Mm-hmm.
Bob Barker, 30 Rock, writing, everything.
Well, this has been an interesting podcast.
Yeah, who knew? I didn't think it was really going to go this long. We got a whole other thing going here.
I know.
It's become another real podcast.
Well, there it is. As real as any of the other ones, I think.
Yeah. To the extent that podcasts are real, which I don't know.
Well, there's a 20% chance we're living in an artificial reality environment anyway. So.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot about that. So, but in that case, I mean, it's as real as it can be, right?
Yeah.
So, I guess we'll forge ahead with that.
Forge ahead with what exactly?
I don't know. Let me have my sayings.
I feel like if we're forging ahead, I should know what we're forging ahead
No.
about.
See, if you make me justify it, then I have to come up with something, and that's just not
too much work.
Yeah, please, no, I don't.
Okay.
Let's forge ahead, okay?
All right, let's forge ahead, guys. All right, we're forging ahead. This is like a Mighty Python thing. We are the men who forge ahead. Where are we forging to?
Quiet, you.
Quiet, you. All right.
That's Monty Python.
That's Monty Python in a nutshell.
Brilliant humor.
Yeah, and then someone gets slapped in the face with a fish or something.
Yeah. That's how they all end. Oh, God.
Yes?
Oh, God, not that again.
I love how your response is always, oh, God, again.
Yeah, well.
Like, oh, God, yes. Oh, God, not that again.
Yeah.
I'm already here, yeah.
My go-to phrase. I can't,
Yeah.
How do I want to react to a reaction to me saying, oh, God? I have to say, oh, God, again. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it works. So, tough shit. For me and everyone else.
Did you hear that Jon Stewart was said he was going to cover the salaries of all the writers on his staff and the staff of the Colbert Report for 2 weeks?
Oh, really?
Yeah, it turned out not to be true, though.
Really?
Like the news reporting style?
Wow,
Did you hear that?
That
yeah,
would be great. That would be great. They should do that. Just like some horrific story, and then but that's not true. So, Good news, everyone.
Yeah.
There wasn't a 20-car pileup on the I-65 today with a death count of 30. And
exactly. California fell off the face of the map today. It fell off the face of the earth today in a violent earthquake. And some say never happens, including us.
Everybody,
move on.
everybody's like in California, like, wait a minute, I think I'm still here. What happened?
What? I'm dead? What?
Am I? Is this it? Did I die?
Am I on the island?
Is this? Oh God.
Yeah.
No, don't talk to me.
But apparently that was the report, and then I think his rep denied it or something. But I mean, that's a lot of money.
That would be a shitload of money.
Oh, Jay Leno also apparently came out to support. There's been a few notable celebrities who came out to the picket line. Tina Fey, I meant to mention earlier, was picketing today. Tina Fey and Seth Meyers from SNL, they were fucking on the picket line, which I think is awesome. And and some other notable celebrities, because I think the rule is everyone in the WGA has to strike. I mean,
yeah, that's what I was reading. That they
have to pick a time. Yeah, they have to pick a time to go and actually do it. That's part of. I think that's what's really interesting about unions, and that's what's been interesting about this whole strike thing is learning how they're set up. Because when there is a strike, it's not just okay, we're all on strike. It's no, this is what you have to do. And one of the things is you have to picket your primary employer. So that ensures that no matter where the WGA members work for, that the companies involved, by the sheer fact that they're working there, the companies involved will be affected just by saying picket your primary employer. They don't have to say, oh, picket these places, these places, these places, these places. Just picket where you work, because they're the ones that we're trying to affect. So it's kind of cool how they set that up. And so anyway,
Carlton is apparently on the committee, the negotiating committee for
is he?
for the WGA.
Oh, nice.
And so I don't know if he'll actually be picketing if he's on the committee. Maybe he will anyway. I don't know.
Yeah,
but,
he should be.
But Damon ought to be there.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of the writers whose blogs I read were talking about how they, where they were going to be, and they were actually come say hi.
Yeah.
So I thought about going today. I really did.
Yeah, people will be there. They're all not everybody, but
and the WGA's official statement is that anyone who wants to come and support can.
Yeah, I was reading today. They're supposed to picket 20 hours a week. That's what.
Yeah.
So
is that what it is?
To do. Yeah.
I think they're picketing. They picket 8 hours a day, I think, isn't it?
Whoa.
Well, 8 times 5 is 40.
40. Yeah. But I think I was reading it in Variety that's what all the members are expected to do. I guess maybe they can do more.
Oh, I see. The members are expected to do 20, but because they do shifts. They do 9 to 1 and 1 to 5. And writers have to sign up for shifts. So maybe they have to sign up for
5 shifts.
What's that, 5 shifts or something a week? Yeah. That makes sense.
So they could go every day during a shift or do a whole day.
It basically becomes their job, but just part-time, half-day job.
Yeah, which is unless there's people there you can hang out with, it'll just be boring and shitty. Oh, it would be great, we're striking. Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
I want to write.
Yeah.
Not just stand out here. Because I've never picketed anything before, but it always seemed boring to me. Whenever I see people picketing, it just didn't look like fun.
They're not having fun. There's no fun in picketing.
It's just, I don't know.
It's miserable. You're out there. You're
people are passing you by, totally indifferent to you. I.e. me. I see those people, and I'm like, okay, yeah.
Save the trees.
Yeah, I got things to do. I understand. I'm sure you're right. Gotta go.
Mm-hmm.
Just total indifference, and they're just out there most people are ignoring them. It's just, oh God.
Yeah.
But WGA strike's bigger than the ones I usually see.
Yeah.
This is a real thing. They're not fucking around. It's not
they aren't, man.
Most of the picketing I see is 5 people.
Yeah.
Just, standing around,
No, they've got professional signs and everything.
Save the parks. Like, all right, whatever. Not my problem.
Yeah, that always, I always loved that idea in the original, like, Sim City, when, like, people, like, there would be riots in the city, and, like, just that idea of, like, people getting together and, like, doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Yeah, it always irritated me because I just want to tax the shit out of them because I need the money. And then they got pissed about it.
And then they get pissed about that and the crime. And
they all move out, They're like, fuck you, I'm living next door. They don't charge a, 80% tax rate.
I love that game because, like, exactly, it's like you could build the roads to the connecting cities, which would help you get, visitors, but people could also leave.
Exactly, yeah. And it just irritated me. It's like, you're computer people. Don't, like, act realistically.
Exactly. Love me.
Yeah.
You're a computer. Don't treat me like real life. Treat me like the way I want to be treated.
Like, I made you. I created this place. I built it.
Exactly.
Like, respect that.
No, man. Yeah, I never would play that game with disasters on. I'm like, fuck that. Who wants an impromptu hurricane or earthquake or tornado ruining their city?
Crazy
I always cut
people.
that off. I don't know who likes that. Who wants to clean up after, like, an earthquake?
Yeah, this will be fun. Like, all that delicate planning they just ruin.
Exactly. That new park and stadium I built, gone. Like, great.
Yeah. Now I get to build it again. Wow. What a treat.
No.
God.
No, I don't know who would play with those on. I always cut disasters off.
Yeah, those are awful.
But, yeah, and then, like, fires, but that game was awesome. Fires would break out, and it was. Yeah, it was really cool, and then, like, it was, you could look at your city by crime rates, and then, all you basically had to do was put a police station near the crime.
Yeah.
The crime would go down.
Yeah, it's a little easier.
Yeah, it's very cut and dry in the game.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, this area just needs a police station.
There you go, police station, no problem. Oh, look, a fire's breaking out. Put in a fire station. Boom, problem solved. All right.
Yeah.
Move on. They want a school. Okay, here you go. Have a school.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. I would always try to plan it out perfectly, make it this, like, perfect grid where it just had every mode of transportation, every possible attraction that they would want.
And it's hard.
It is.
City planning is hard because you're like, oh, okay, I need to expand out and I want to do my city this way. But, like, things would come up and, like, we need this over here. Our section of town doesn't have any power. It's like, oh, crap.
I know. You set up those power lines, and then things fuck you up. And this one thing disconnected, like, all of a sudden, all this power goes out, and I'm like, okay, where's the problem?
Yeah.
Oh, here it is.
Yeah.
God. Yeah, I always wanted like the perfect thing, like where everything was perfectly balanced, and it just grew in this, lovely way.
A utopia that does not exist.
Yeah, exactly. And then, it just never worked. No matter how good that city was, I'm like, man, if I lived here, I'd just be amazed. Everything's perfect,
Yeah, it's like every neighborhood was close enough to a school or to the things they need. Like, everything is perfect, and, like, you don't have, like, everybody's balanced and fair,
Yeah.
But it doesn't happen that way in real life.
I know. And then the residential areas just start going brown because everybody was moving out.
Yeah.
It's like, what's your problem?
Yeah, why are you guys moving out here? Okay, I'll put a rec center here.
Don't move
away.
Fine. Yeah, exactly. And then I legalized gambling, and
wants to move in.
Yeah, and then like the crime goes up, and I'm like, oh God, okay, fine, more police stations, and then I got to figure out a place to put them because I planned it so intricately. I can't put anything in there.
Yeah.
Like, it gets packed in with stuff, and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to knock down houses or something to, like, get this police.
You have to, like, evict people from their houses and, like, tear down freeways and, like, reroute things because some didn't work right. And,
it's ridiculous.
What a game. It's pretty crazy that that's a game.
It is, Yeah, you're supposed to have fun with that.
Yeah, have fun. Being God. Go.
That's it, yeah. And go. Time. There you go.
And it's like what kind of, and then the big question began was what kind of city do you want to have? Like, do you want to have a port? Do you want to have a river going through it? Do you want to, you know, like you could do all those options,
right.
you know, and like.
And I would do
crazy.
all of them. I would do all of them, and it was never enough. It was never enough. I gave them their port, and I gave them their airport, and I gave them their marina, and
Marina was a big one. Marina was a big one.
Everything they could have wanted, they had, and it wasn't enough. I couldn't.
It's still not
them.
enough. You got to change their mentalities, and only through complete totalitarian control can that happen. Complete despotism is the only way to change people's mentality.
That's what I needed, and I couldn't control them. I had no military, you know.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. You need a police force. You need your own government police force.
Yeah.
You could have they should have had the CIA, and you could tap all the FBI. Yeah. You could tap all the phones.
That's what I needed. I needed to monitor their
talking about.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. Keep track of subversive elements and
put cameras on every street corner.
Yeah.
Do government ID system, you know.
Yeah, definitely. And
keep tabs on anyone who doesn't live in the city, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Visiting.
I need to closely monitor people leaving the city.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure, you know, they're really not moving out. They can only go on vacations only for certain amounts of time. That's it.
They have to apply to leave the city.
Yeah.
That's definitely the best way to control them. They have to apply to leave the city.
Yeah, that's good. They'll have to get some kind of permit or something.
Yeah, and with all the bureaucracy, it'll be like a year in advance before they have to it'll be good.
Yeah.
Perfect
good.
city, here we come.
Yeah. That's the only way to make it perfect.
That's a utopia right there.
Because then they can pay those taxes, and then I can afford to give them all the shit they want.
Mm-hmm.
I hated that. It was like, well, if you want stuff, then give me money. Like, I can't, just build you things if you don't want to pay taxes. Like, you know, come on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that really was good. I used to enjoy that.
Yeah, no, that game was really great. I played it a lot.
Yeah, I used to play that at school a lot.
I remember when SimCity 3 or 4 came out, and I think it's 4 or whatever, and I was like, wow, 4. Like, it looks so great. And I never bought it, but I was like, wow, I should buy this and play it. See how different it is.
Yeah, it looks different. I haven't played anything past the 2000. I haven't played any of the newer ones.
Mm-hmm.
But I have seen screen captures, and it does look really nice.
Looks complicated.
Yeah, it does. It looks like, and it was already fairly complicated.
It was.
It's like, I don't need
You have to
more.
know how to do a lot of stuff in that game.
You really did.
It wasn't obvious. Like the whole plumbing thing.
Oh,
I
hated the plumbing.
Oh man, you had to go through different screen modes to even see the plumbing.
Yeah. You had to make sure to get the water going in all the pipes, and it was kind of hard to tell where the pipes were sometimes. You would try to get them to line up, and the way the grid was, since it was underground, the perspective was off, and so sometimes you'd put a pipe down, it'd be in the wrong place, and you just have this little piece of pipe just sitting there doing nothing, and it was very frustrating. That whole thing was, and just putting in enough stuff to supply the water. Oh, the water and the tower were awful.
Yeah, the towers and pumps and all the things you need. And
I'd always try to build a subway too, and that would have to.
And it interferes with the plumbing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I'd figure out how to make both of those work, and still have the subway go to everywhere you'd want to go.
And they had did they have buses too?
I think so. Yeah.
You could put bus stations.
Yeah, they have bus depot, bus station. Yeah, definitely. So you could get that, and I would get all of them. I get every public transportation thing you would want going.
Yeah.
Still didn't like it.
Still didn't like it, huh?
Come on, guys. And there was traffic and pollution, and they would complain about that. And it's like, guys, look what I built you. Why won't you just use that?
Not good enough.
It's never good enough. Never good enough. And I gave you a huge freeway, and still there's traffic.
The freeway was awesome. I used to love the freeways.
Yeah, I did too.
Building the freeways. You didn't really need them much though in the game. I remember always building them, and they just took up a lot of room and didn't really do a lot. But it was nice to see.
Yeah. It had that air of realism.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. All right. Well, I think we've nerded ourselves out a lot. This podcast, we're getting in depth with SimCity of all games, and no shame in it either. I guess not.
Not a bit. Not a bit.
Not a bit.
I stand by it. I think it's a good one.
I never knew, like, when the game first started, and it was like, it was like that lady's voice sort of computerized. And she said, like, articulating, wada, 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 wada. And I never knew what she said. It was like when it was like loading the map, at the very beginning of the game. And I never knew what she said. Articulating, I don't know.
I have no idea. I don't remember there being a speaking thing in that part.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was this little thing.
I played that recently.
Oh, have you now?
Yeah, I pulled it out just for fun.
1997 or 2007? Wait, I forgot what year it is.
I just for nostalgia's sake, I just pulled it out and. It wants the CD-ROM. The CD-ROM, that tells you how old it is. Jesus.
Are you using an emulator or something?
No, I'm using my copy of it from years ago.
Oh, you actually have the computer version.
I have
you playing
it
that
for
in
real.
XP? It works okay in XP?
It does. It works just fine. No problems at all. Although maybe I lost the sound. Always a possibility. So let's see. Start. Oh, is it letting me do it?
I think mine was
I just started. I didn't get any sound. Do I have the sound off? Oh, I do. Sound effects, music. Great. Okay, so what are you supposed to do that makes the talking happen?
Like when you first generate your map that you're going to play with.
Okay, so I'm going to open it again. Oh, it doesn't need the CD. That's good. Okay. Okay, start new city, and that's it?
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh, God, I heard it.
Did you say it?
What did she say?
Right?
I heard articulating.
Exactly.
Whoa.
That's like 10-year mystery.
Can I make her say it again?
You got to do that again.
Oh, God. Why is she mumbling in the background?
I don't know.
That's so weird. Okay. Articulating is blind.
I heard something like splines or something. I think she's just telling you like something to do with the geometry of the game or something. That's what I always assumed, but I just didn't know what exactly she was saying.
Let's see. Can I turn off the music? That's getting on my nerves. Let's see if she'll still say it.
What did she say? Is it splines?
Sounded like it. Let me turn this up. One more. Well, maybe a few more.
Reticulating splines.
Yeah.
It sounds like reticulating splines.
Reticulating?
Yeah. When I hear it, I'm hearing reticulating.
Reticulating splines.
Yeah, I don't know why she says it so nonchalant.
Reticulating splines.
She doesn't care.
That just seems scary. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. You never heard that?
Put that voice in there.
As much as you played that game, you never heard that.
I think, when I played it at school, I always played it without sound. And I think I got used to that mode, so when I would play it, I would turn the sound. That's why the sound was off. I had to turn it on. Because I got used to playing without sound, so I never heard that. It's weird to just embed that little voice. It doesn't seem to be saying anything, relevant. To what you're supposed to be doing. It's just weird. I don't know what they're doing. Wow, what a strange thing. I don't know what they're doing with that. Reticulating splines. I don't know. And just having it kind of buried in there, like.
Dude, yeah. I mean, that's all. I remember that from, high school playing that game.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was always like, why did she say that?
I don't know why
it's such
she
a
says
weird
that.
voice, and you never hear that voice in the game, as far as I can remember. Like,
Yeah.
it's not like she's like the host of the game or anything.
No. That's why I didn't even know that was there. Just put that in there. I don't know what they're thinking.
If it wasn't such an old thing, I feel the need to ask.
I know. I can't get in there.
I think the statute of limitations on that question have expired.
Yeah, you're probably right. Reticulating splines. I don't know. There's something a little bit sinister about it.
Yeah, she's going to do it whether you want her to or not.
It's like, yeah, exactly. And it's vague and mysterious. You don't know what she's talking about.
Yeah, and you may not want her to reticulate the spline.
Exactly.
Who told her to do that? That's what I want to know.
I know.
Where did she get that idea?
City. Like, when did I tell you to do this? Whatever you're talking about. Like, I don't want my splines articulated.
Please, no.
Until you tell me what that means, I don't want it done. How about that?
How about that? Yes. Find out what it means first.
God, that's weird. Wow. I really didn't think there was anything I had to learn about that game.
Right? Well, if you're ever going to find out something about it, Mr. Podcast would be the format.
I guess so. Wow. Amazing. What discovery.
Bring up another thing from years ago, and I'll tell you something you didn't know about it.
It's just, usually in games when a voice comes on, like, it's obvious what its relevance is to the game and, like, what your objective is. And, telling you something like her saying, begin new city or something like that.
Exactly, yeah.
That would be reasonable. Like, it's just so bizarre. Wow. Pac-Man, you got anything on that? Pac-Man?
Did you know that, no, I've got nothing. Although there was this one thing I heard that now I don't remember what it was, though. Something about, like, I remember having an epiphany a while ago regarding why Pac-Man can eat the other things after he gets the little big ball thing. I don't know what that's supposed to be.
It's a big ball.
I remember it's a big ball. It's not a little one. It's a big one. That's all. I don't know what else to call it. But I remember hearing like that the reason they run away is because they're scared. For some reason, they're scared of him, and he can eat them now.
Yeah.
Like I remember it all making sense, but I forget now. So I was like, why do they run away? Because he eats that one.
Yeah, it makes him scary to them. It always, they always changed color when he did that. I always got the impression that like eating that thing like took him to another dimension or something.
It reversed the rules of that dimension or something.
Yeah. And like the ghosts were not powerful in this other dimension, but he could only stay there for a limited amount of time.
Yeah.
So you just have to eat them there. But eating them there just like banished them to this place, and then they would be there when he went back to the regular dimension.
Yeah.
I mean, that seems like a little too crazy for Pac-Man, but like that's what I thought.
Yeah, something like that seems like it's going on. I mean, whoever came up with that game was probably stoned out of their mind.
Yeah, definitely. It's
Lee, Pac-Man. What's a pack? I don't know, but that's what he is. He's a Pac-Man.
Pac-Man. Yeah, it really does seem. I mean, it's sort of a maze, puzzly kind of thing, but the ghosts and the the weird thing that eats stuff like is just I don't know.
Oh, here's a little thing I'm reading about reticulating splines.
Oh shit.
People, I guess this is in this topic about chicanery, which is like a trick, and people said back in the SimCity days. He said, I read, reticulating splines is a made-up phrase. It means nothing. Sounds convincing. Maxis has used reticulating splines in just about every game they released to date.
Oh, really?
That's what this guy says.
Wow. So it's a nonsense phrase. It's like, I see you 81 am I. How about that?
I guess it could be, yeah. I mean, there's people who think it means something.
Just to bring it back.
Yeah. This guy says, reticulate resembling a net, having veins, fibers, or lines crossing, to divide, mark, and construct, so as to form a network, and then spline. I guess he's using a key that is fixed to one of two connected mechanical parts and fits into a keyway in the other. And he says, so my take on this is that the interactions in the game rely on each other to form the complex social network for your sim society. So you are constructing, reticulating, a social network for your sims with each interaction, spline, they make.
Does it... Okay.
So there's another theory about
the
what
sort
that
of
means.
literary, poetic interpretation. That's
yeah.
nice. It's nice. Take it to another level. It's
Someone has to.
It's this sort of, strange way of metaphorically expressing the game.
Mm-hmm.
Reticulating splines is really about us. It's holding a mirror to society.
Exactly. Reticulating splines is society. If you really think about it. And I mean really think about it.
If they put it in all the games, then I feel like it's some kind of inside joke or something.
Yeah. Speaking of inside jokes, our little topic thing was pretty funny yesterday.
Oh,
the other
what?
day. Our little made-up topic thing.
Oh, yeah, that whole thing.
The impromptu topic to be all topics.
Yeah, the like big crazy event that we can talk about in really general terms all the time.
But it can affect us so deeply.
It's great how you can go on about something like that without ever saying anything specific.
Yeah, you don't have to say anything specific at all.
And it seems like you're talking about something really important.
Yeah, because you are.
That was nice. It seemed like people got what we were doing.
Yeah.
I read a couple of the comments. They were pretty good.
Yeah, most of the people got it what we were doing. I think as long as we went on with it, it was like, okay, well.
Yeah.
Something's going on. Nobody cares that much about
usually
anything real.
Usually if we go on and on about something like that, you should have some clue what we're talking about.
Yeah.
If we go on for 5 minutes and you have no idea what we're talking about,
then that's just a normal show.
Yeah. Right, but
if we go on for 7 minutes and you don't know what we're talking about, we're talking about something.
Oh, God. Yeah.
And I think we can all agree that that's something we need.
Absolutely. Because, without podcasts, the sun wouldn't come up.
What?
And children wouldn't smile.
Oh, children don't smile because they're evil. No.
I'm not evil.
It has nothing to do, this has nothing to do with children or anything. Total topic change, but I was watching this new show called Samantha Who. It's this show with, of all people, Christina Applegate.
Oh.
Who you might remember from such hits as Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead and the great show Married with Children.
Much more importantly, Married with Children.
Yeah. But it's actually really good. I think it's actually a really good show. It's basically like it's kind of to me it's like an hour version of 30 Rock, because it's got this female lead who's sort of hapless, and she's hapless because she got hit by a car, and she wakes up from this 8-day coma, and she doesn't remember who she is. And it turns out that she basically used to be a bitch. Like, she used to just be really mean, and she was cheating on her boyfriend, and she's like, you know. And so it's interesting when she wakes up and she's got to, you know, figure out who she is versus who she wants to be, you know, kind of thing. And like, you know, just the mystery of what was going on in her life before, you know. She gets reminded that it's her friend Renee's like birthday party or something. And she asks her boyfriend, who, you know, to her is a complete stranger, but, you know, she knows that they live together. She's like, "Who's Renee?" And he's like, "Oh, it's some work friend of yours or something you see on business trips. I don't really know." And she goes, "Oh, okay." And she's like, "Well, you should come. You should come to Renee's party because it's a party and it'll be fun, blah, 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 you know." And so he ends up coming, and it turns out, of course, Renee is like the guy she's cheating. You know, it's like this French guy who she works with, who, like, you know, she's been cheating on him with, and she finds out just before the boyfriend does, you know, but she eventually tells him. But you know, so it's that kind of stuff that's going on that's kind of interesting. But I thought the comedy was actually really, like, really well done, and, like, you know, I watched the pilot, and I'm like, it's one of the only pilots I've seen that I'm like, there's no way someone would not have bought that pilot, you know. Like, it's good on every level for the kind of thing it's going for, you know what I mean? Like, it's good on every level.
Mm-hmm.
You know, most pilots are, like, weak in some areas, but it was probably definitely the strongest pilot I've seen this season. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, a lot of pilots aren't that great.
Yeah, a lot of pilots in general just really aren't that great, but this one was like, man, like, and the actors, I mean, not the actors, but the characters have seemed, you know, they all had their different things that they were doing, but they were, but it was all really funny and good. And Gene Smart's on there if you're a Gene Smart fan.
Oh, Gene Smart, yeah.
Do you even know who that is?
No, I have no fucking idea.
Yeah, I was wondering because she's the kind of actress that, like, you might know the name, but it's like, oh, who's that now?
I have heard the name, but I really don't know who that is.
Gene Smart.
Oh, okay,
Gene
wait,
Smart.
say it 2 more times and I'll know who you're talking about.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Gene Smart.
Okay.
Okay. Do you know who it is now?
Almost there.
On the tip of your tongue, right?
Yeah. Just if you just say it once more, I think I'll get it.
Gene Smart.
Oh, I still don't have it.
No. Gene Smart is, I said fart. It's not her name. Maybe in elementary school she was Gene Fart.
Gene Fart. We're calling you that because you're not smart. You fart. Okay.
You're so smart, you fart.
Kids are. Oh, they're just too clever.
Her claim to fame is designing women.
Oh, who is she in Designing Women?
Oh, if I gave you a name, you're really going to know?
I used to watch it.
Oh, so if I gave you her name, you're going to know who she is.
I might.
Okay, she was, I had to look it up. She was Charlene Fraser Stillfield.
Oh! Yeah, it doesn't help.
If it's not Julia Sugarbaker, no one knows, or,
yeah,
you know, if it wasn't one of the Sugarbakers, or Mary Jo, nobody knows anybody on that show. Or Meshack Taylor.
Oh, that guy. Yeah. Yeah, I remember Delta Burke and him and, the sugar.
She basically wasn't Delta Burke, Dixie Carter, Annie Potts, or Meshack Taylor.
Annie Potts, she was in that too. Oh, shit.
Mm-hmm.
Annie Potts, man.
Dude,
wow.
Annie Potts was gold for a while.
Annie Potts. She was in something else too. She was in this other.
Toy Story 2.
I'm sure she was, but that is not what I'm referring to.
I guess she was in the first Toy Story, yeah.
Some movie that I really liked she was in. I don't remember what it was though. In the 80s, I think.
Ghostbusters, maybe?
Yeah, Ghostbusters. That's it. She was the secretary. She was.
Of course. Yeah, no, she was really good
Janine
in that.
or whatever.
Janine.
Yeah.
No, she was good as I remember that role.
Yeah,
it
was a good part for her. She was. Ghostbusters, what do you want? It's really good. Because, she was mad because they weren't calling for a while because all this stuff happened.
Say that again?
Nothing. Great drama.
What?
I
missed it.
I don't.
Somebody said something.
I don't
sorry,
really
I didn't hear you say
remember. I don't really remember, so I can't. I can't
Okay.
really. I mean, something happened where I think people weren't calling, or she was mad, or something happened, so she just like snapped.
Who are you
and pressed
talking
the
about,
call.
first of all?
I'm talking about Annie Potts' character
Okay.
in Ghostbusters.
Oh, okay. And so you're talking about in the movie something happens where she gets mad?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That sounds kind of familiar.
Yeah, when you put it that way, it sounds like so you're saying in the movie something make her mad? Oh.
You know what's funny is that I really wasn't being sarcastic. I really feel like I remember something like that. Like, I remember her being pissed off, and I think it had something to do with, like, the guy she was dating, the nerdy guy.
Lewis.
Wasn't it?
Rick
Wasn't she
Moranis.
was pissed because wasn't this where he was getting seduced by Sigourney Weaver or something?
Yeah.
And that was like, wasn't that part of it?
I
like
don't
she was
know.
pissed about that.
I don't know if I guess she found out about that at some point. I feel like that wasn't it though. I feel like she was just pissed about like some kind of drama going on at the office.
Did she get fired or something, or something happened?
Yeah.
I remember in the movie something happened with her and work. And
Yeah, I feel like she was rebuffed somehow, and
Yeah.
and so she was pissed off and just took it out on whoever called next. And of course, as always, when that happens, I believe it was someone that she didn't want to say that to.
Of course.
That's just classic stuff. But yeah, I don't remember if she ever found out about.
Did she not?
About the whole thing with him and Sigourney Weaver turning into the. Maybe she did, but I don't know. I'm not sure, because it was only that one scene where where they get together and he's like, I'm the keymaster and I'm the gatekeeper, and then and then they start like kissing, I guess, and then they just kind of go off into the scary room and the door closes and like that's pretty much it. And then after that they're the evil dog demon things, and they don't really do anything else, whatever like that. So and she didn't see that scene, and nothing later that happens would let them know that went on.
But my point was I thought it was something where he said, and maybe this is wrong, but I sort of remember something where like he was supposed to come over and then he canceled at the last minute or something.
Oh, that happened. Oh God, when did that happen? That was a whole thing.
Yeah, and then I thought that's why she got
forgot.
mad about that or something.
Yeah, there was a party or something, and he was there. I remember he was trying to play, and then there was the dog thing, and it got him. And I remember there was that great scene where he was running from it, and he went to that restaurant.
There's a restaurant, and everyone just looks at him. There's some every now and then there's those movies where it's like always in New York too, and like people are eating in front of a big window, and like someone's outside of it.
Yeah,
I feel like that only happens in New York for some reason.
Totally. Yeah, and he just like pounds on the window, and they're just like indifferent, and so then he gets attacked by the thing, and it
that was scary.
It was scary, and it was a really good scene. There are like restaurants in New York like that, like where just big like window in the front, and you just feel like you're outside almost.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think part of it. I mean, it wasn't true for that restaurant, but I think part of it is the restaurants there are tiny and cramped and long and slender, and like putting the windows like that kind of opens the place up to some extent, makes it feel a little better and more roomier than it is.
Yeah.
And I think people like to look out too and all that, but yeah, that was a really nice restaurant that he came to. It was like ritzy and big and
yeah, it was like a really nice restaurant.
Yeah, I don't know where that was supposed to be. It seemed like he was in a park or something. Like when he walked up to it, like it seemed like
he got chased through Central Park or something.
Yeah, Central Park. That's what it should have been. It probably was Central Park. That probably was what that was supposed to be. Some restaurant around there is probably going to be pretty nice.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. But I wasn't aware of that, of course, when I was younger. I didn't realize how New York the movie was.
Yeah.
But it all just seemed like, oh, well, whatever. It's just movie world where crazy things happen.
Yeah, none of this really exists.
Yeah.
I don't know how they make these movies. A writer dreams them up on his magic typewriter. And the director sprinkles some fairy dust on it, and you have a movie.
Oh God, that's so Mr. Show.
Yeah.
And you see, David, that's how movies are made.
Oh.
But you're right. There was something with a party, where like somebody was invited and they didn't go. But I don't remember who that was or why.
Wasn't there something with her and like something with the bathtub? She was like trying to run a bath, and like something happened.
Oh, maybe.
Am I making that up? Something about the bathroom or running a bath or
bath. God, it's been too long. Bath.
This must be a very interesting conversation to listen to. Two people try to remember obscure details from an old movie. Great. That's awesome.
It's I feel like I should remember it better as many times as I saw it, but I can't remember a bath scene. Maybe there was one, but I can't remember one with any character.
I don't know. I feel like she was trying to get in the bath. I don't know.
She's trying to get in the bath.
Didn't something happen though? Didn't something scary happen with her on the phone, or somebody came over? Wasn't there like this scene that kind of seems ominous with her? Or like something bad was going to happen to her? Am I making that up?
I don't think she really got involved with that stuff. I think she was kind of on the outside of. I think all the scary stuff was with like Sigourney Weaver and Rick Moranis.
I just thought of something like...
And the Ghostbusters themselves. I feel like she didn't... I feel like nothing really happened to her. I could be wrong now.
It's Wikipedia time. That's all I know.
Okay. Fair enough. They can settle this. Right?
I didn't see the movie that many times, so...
yeah.
All right, so let's see.
I just could not get enough of it. Something just... And the EPA guy ruins it all, as always. Life isn't art.
Well, according to Wikipedia, she has two things to do in this movie.
Yeah, I seem to recall her not. I think she might have done more in two.
Maybe it's two I'm thinking about because I may have seen more of two. Two more, I should say.
Because I think she just stuck to her role. She did get, a couple of like sort of romantic scenes with Rick Moranis, but I think that was it.
Yeah, I hear it. Yeah, maybe this is what I'm talking about. Louis and Janine are babysitting Oscar when a supernaturally empowered Janaz or whatever. I don't remember how that name's pronounced. Kidnaps Oscar and brings him to the museum.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That's what I was thinking about.
That's
something
totally
like.
It.
Yeah, it was something. Maybe they were trying to give the baby a bath or something. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I just remember like something happening with her and something bad, evil, and that's all I got. I know that's hardcore evidence, but that's all I got.
I love that.
Now, how much of a fan are you really of this of Ghostbusters? Could I? What kind of Ghostbusters trivia could you do?
As was made clear, I don't know how good I'd be at it as far as details because, I just haven't seen it in a while, and I didn't watch it for years. And
so, how about something simple like names?
Yeah, we could try. I feel like I could get some of it.
Okay, so what was Harold Ramis's character?
He was Louis something. Oh God, did he have a last name? Louis.
Yeah, and Louis isn't the first name.
That's not his first name?
No, Rick Moranis is Louis.
He has some kind of what?
Rick Moranis is Louis.
Isn't that what you asked?
No, I said Harold Ramis.
Oh, okay. I heard Rick Moranis. Okay, yeah, Harold Ramis. Sorry, he is Egon Spengler.
Yeah, Dr. Egon Spengler.
Doctor, excuse
I can only give
me.
you partial credit.
Okay.
Dan Aykroyd.
Okay, he was, oh God. I guess he wasn't Dan.
Daniel.
Okay, hold on. So there's Egon, and there's, I know, Winston, and I can't even remember Bill Murray's character's name.
But Nesta, come on, he's got the great last name.
I feel like if I could get Bill Murray's character, I could get,
who's Bill Murray?
Venkman.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember his first name. I remember Venkman. Said that a lot.
So he's Peter Venkman.
Peter Venkman. Okay, and Dan Aykroyd is, oh God.
That's an R.
Oh, Ray.
Mm-hmm.
Something. Ray
Ghostbuster.
Ray
Stantz.
Oh, God, yeah, that's it. Fuck.
And for bonus points, Sigourney Weaver's character.
Oh, she was, I'm getting all these awful, like, I'm thinking of her character in Alien, like, I'm thinking, like, oh, yeah, Ripley. No. Then I thought, Diane Fossey, the woman she played in Gorillas in the Mist, and I'm just thinking, like, the worst, like, things are clouding my brain. I know her name in that, because they say it. They say it enough that I would know it.
Mm-hmm.
See, Ray's name gets said the least, and that's why I didn't remember it.
Yeah.
Especially his last name. And that's why I lost it. But
Dana Barrett.
Yeah,
or Barrett.
Dana. That's it. That was a whole thing. It was a whole thing. I should have remembered Dana at least.
Don't you remember the whole Dana thing?
I do.
Dana.
That was the movie. Dana.
That's what Bill Murray said. Bill Murray said that like 3 times in the movie. Dana.
That's all I ever hear about is Dana.
Dana.
Oh, God, yeah.
Ivan Reitman, what's he doing?
Who knows?
He's crazy.
I remember Zool and Gozer.
And Flotsam and Jetsam?
And, oh, God, and who was the EPA guy? He had a name. Oh, God, he so had a name. I can't remember his name, though. Shit. Can you tell me what that guy's name is?
Oh, I don't know. What's his name? I don't know how to find, unless he's called the ETA driver.
Well, he's,
Which, is this 1 or 2?
It's 1.
Oh, well, that'll help.
It should be easy to find. Like, he's got a name that's, like, he should somehow.
Like, is he?
He had a beard.
You said Gozer already, right?
Yeah, he's. Yes.
I don't know who that is. Is that the bad guy?
No. Gozer is like.
Ghost or something.
Gozer is the evil demon thing.
So when I said a bad guy and you said no.
Well, what I meant was not a bad guy, but a bad ghost thing.
Okay.
Because the EPA guy's like the bad guy, the human bad guy, and I was trying to make that distinction. But
okay, how about? I mean, right after Winston is Mayor, then male student and female student, and then Gozer, and then there's Dean Yeager. Then there's a lot of people who played themselves, then like random people with names that are just what they do.
I gotta look.
There's Ted Fleming. There's the Flemings.
Zedmore. I forgot his last name. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Walter Peck.
Where's that at? Oh, that guy. Oh, I didn't see him up there.
Yeah, that guy. That guy.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah. You know that guy, right?
No.
Oh. Well.
No, Morty.
Peck. I'm Walter Peck.
Well, how long have we been recording? Because remember, we have our little, we got 1 minute before this thing shuts off. I'm glad I remembered.
For real?
Yeah,
oh,
exactly.
Shit. I can't believe it's been that long. Holy
yeah, I
shit.
thought about it. I'm like, wait, when is this, All right, guys, well...
I wonder if this one will do that. I'm curious.
Oh, it will.
I'm wondering if, like, maybe this is the new talk show.
Well, let's just say bye, and then if it doesn't work, then
we'll definitely say bye. If it doesn't work, then we'll wait a second and then say bye again.
Yeah, it'll probably...
But it'll probably work. So, namaste and all that.
Yeah, namaste and all that jazz. Whatever we said last time.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that'll be the new thing. Whatever we said last time.
Yeah, that'll work. I don't know. I miss saying the ending, so I feel like I want to do the same thing, but then I feel like it cheapens the last thing, so whatever. It's about 10 seconds here, and I don't want to waste them, so.
Yeah, well, check out clawtv.blogspot.com and look for in-depth. Is it still going?
Oh, shit. It just went right over 3 hours.
Wow.
I wonder what the limit is now.
Maybe
it must
it's
be
4
different.
or 5. Or
Wow.
maybe it's 15 seconds.
Well,
I don't know.
We should find out eventually. That's interesting. I'm glad they did that. It was irritating to me.
Yeah, well, maybe it still says 2 hours when you set it up, but I wonder. I'm sure they say it somewhere what the new limit is. We can figure it out.
Yeah, we can find out somehow. But it's nice to know we don't have that cutoff anymore.
Yeah.
But now I'm just wondering what it'll be. Probably
Good.
4 or 5.
Yeah, they're gonna have to. I mean, they'd stop it at some point.
Yeah. It can't be unlimited. We can't podcast forever.
No, don't want to.
Don't want to. Yeah, that's right. Don't want to. Okay, so we can say goodbye for real.
All right. Well, thanks for listening again, guys, and what we said last time.
Yeah. So 2 podcasts. Woo.
So don't ask us for any more.
Yeah, this is it for us. We're done.
We're done podcasting forever, guys. I hope you enjoy it. It's been a pleasure and an honor, and that's it.
And a privilege.
Maybe that'll be our new thing. Every Mister's podcast, we will declare will be the last one.
Okay, that's a good idea.
And we'll just say our goodbyes.
Yeah.
After each one, we'll pretend like it's the writer's strike.
Okay.
And we're like, not sure which podcast will be the last one.
Mhm.
So we'll just end the show each podcast.
Okay. Well, I've really enjoyed doing Mr. Podcast, and
Meh.
I'm gonna miss it. It was fun. I could bring anything to it, and it welcomed it gladly. And
yeah, I'm not gonna miss it, but it was fun.
Most of all, I'm gonna miss the comments.
I'm gonna miss Talk Shoe.
Yeah, I'll definitely miss Talk Shoe.
We'll never get to see what the limit is now.
Yeah, you're right. That's too bad. I really wanted to know.
Oh well.
Oh well. There's plenty of things that I'll never know, and
yeah.
Why not just add one more thing to that list, right? I mean,
and you would know the difference.
Exactly. It's a long list.
It's a long list, she says.
So that is what he says. It's a long list, he says.
I think I called you a she, but that's okay.
Oh, did you say she?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, well, I've been...
Oh, I wasn't talking about you, and then I realized what I said, and I was like, oh, okay, well.
Yeah.
So I was trying to say more like, there she blows. but then somehow makes it into a long list, she says.
Yeah.
See, when I explain it, it doesn't make any sense.
Right.
And now I'm the asshole. Great. Okay. All right.
You know, I don't get called she very often. So
You don't get what?
I don't get called she very often.
Oh.
But hey, you know, why not? You know, it's different. It's a little twist on the pronoun I'm used to.
How about shim?
Shim.
Did you notice that in that episode?
No, we talked about it.
Yeah. I don't remember if you said you noticed it.
Are you asking if I noticed it? No.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a thing. It's kind of subtle where it seems like, you know, if you don't hear it, it just seems like he kind of flubbed it a little bit.
I totally did notice it. But I think I miss, like, I'm gonna just estimate. I feel like I miss about 45% of the jokes. Just a guess.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
counting
not
all the tiny things.
Yeah, I know what you mean, because I think the first time I see an episode, yeah, I would say I get much more than like 70.
Yeah.
Maybe 80, and then you watch it again, you get maybe another 5%, and then, you know, it's diminishing returns after a while.
Yeah, definitely.
And then you just get everything you're going to get out of it.
And it's like, that's it. I'm not going to see any more if I watch this more.
Yeah.
There's really no more to it.
It's not like Charlie Kaufman stuff.
Oh, God, yeah, no. Let nothing,
Where you
nowhere
got it.
be
Watching,
anything like
you got it.
Yeah, we can all hope that no one else will write things like that.
Oh, man.
One, Charlie Kaufman is plenty Charlie Kaufman.
One is enough. And two, when he had a brother, ugh.
Oh, God. He did have a brother.
That's when it got too much, actually.
That was too much. And I'm going to put him on the screenplay, and he's going to get nominated.
Mm-hmm. That's Charlie Kaufman?
Yeah, that's Charlie Kaufman.
All right.
He's a Southern belle. What are you going to do? That's just who he is.
He's going to get nominated.
And I'm going to wear my dress to the ball.
I'm always dependent on the kindness of strangers. Yeah, I believe Charlie Kaufman is Vivian Lee from Streetcar Named Desire.
Why not? He's got to be somebody.
He's got to be somebody, but why that person? I don't know. But why not that person, too?
Yeah, I agree.
That's the spice of life.
It is the spice of life.
As the Italians say, al spicio del lifeo.
That's exactly what they say. Oh, man, you're just right about that one.
I think that's, I heard a lot of Italians say that.
Spicio del lifeo. You know, those Italians, they're crazy. They just take English words and kind of add a little.
Yeah. I know it's a little dense, but what that translates into is the spice of life.
Yeah. Yeah, I know many of you out there are not fluent in Italiano, so
in Italiano.
We will.
Ce ne dice, come se ne c'è, non ho visto una large pepperoni. Italian is great.
Take a massa cruda carbonara.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Oh, man.
Saturday.
No,
yeah.
Italians are great.
Yeah.
The
Big
ones
cheers
from
for
Americans.
Italians. Except during World War II, that was a bad one.
Yeah, well, we didn't like a lot of people in World War II.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Nobody was good during World War II, really.
Nobody. Except us, always.
Except us, but kind of not.
And we were great. Don't say a word.
Yeah. Well, we could have been worse, so.
Yeah, we could have been Hitler.
Could have been Hitler. That was worse.
We all could have been him.
Yeah, no, we wouldn't. That would
And
be,
we would have agreed.
What?
And we would have agreed.
Oh, yeah. If we were also Hitler, that would have been very strange.
Mhm.
Like, wow, you're Hitler and we're Hitler. And,
I like your mustache. I like
Yeah.
your mustache.
Hey. That's a nice uniform you got on there. Hey, well, I was just gonna say, yours looking pretty snazzy also. Dang.
Where'd you get yours? Same place you got yours. Well, look at that.
Look at that.
Let's get married.
Let's get married. Why not?
Isn't that right? I've always heard when you found your soulmate when you guys get your clothes from the same place.
Yeah, you like each other's mustaches and you like each other's wardrobe. Get married.
Get married.
That's it. You
Yeah, I
found
agree.
it. That's it.
You've got don't let it go. Don't let that love go.
Hang on to that. Hang on to that, girl.
Hang on to it. Like a pit bull, don't let it go. And even if they put you to sleep, when they put you down, you hold on to that love.
With your teeth.
Grab it with your teeth and don't let go, even if they say stop.
Lock the jaw on that
That's
love.
not the safe word you agreed upon. What?
What? Did you
All right.
say something?
I gotta go move my car.
Man, this is all free time. This is bonus time.
I
right
know,
here.
this is like extra. People are like, what?
This
What
is
do I-
like
past the 3-hour mark on a Mr. Podcast?
yeah,
What?
past like when 3 hours hit, this is deleted scenes. Right
Yeah,
here.
this is like we can do whatever we want because it doesn't count.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's free. Free. Do whatever you want.
I declare everything we said before the 3-hour mark null and void. There, I said it. I declared it.
Null and void, huh?
Null and void. It never
Everything.
happened. How do you like that, guys? You never listened to it.
Wow.
You never did. And you know what? You can't get the time back.
Wow.
You can't. I'm sorry. All right. You can get the time back.
Yay. Okay.
I declare it.
Whew, I want that time back.
You can have the time back. Fine.
All right. Good.
Do
Well,
something
I get
smarter with it this time than listening to Claude and Justin.
Oh no.
It always comes back to bite you in the ass.
It does. Yeah.
Just like that dog
Just like that dog.
who you should aspire to be when it comes to the love.
That's right. I don't want that dog, but I want to be that dog when it comes to
I want to be
love.
that dog. Give me that dog. Who's got the dog? Who's got a dog, Jerry?
He had the dog, Jerry.
Jerry, I want that dog. Get out of here. He's got a dog.
Who's got the dog? Where's the
Who's
dog?
got the dog?
Oh, Seinfeld. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
If I couldn't view life
That's what
through
turned
your
into
prism, I don't know what I would do with myself.
Watch Curb Your Enthusiasm and view life from Larry David's prism. Or watch 30 Rock and view life from Tina Fey's. Everyone's got their own thing, dude.
Yeah. Curb Your Enthusiasm isn't really that different from Seinfeld. It just doesn't have a laugh track. A little less jokey, but
Yeah.
it's a lot of the same shit.
Yeah, it should be. It's a lot of the same guy.
Yeah, it is a lot of the same guy. There's a lot of that guy.
He's everywhere.
He is.
Is Wanda Sykes a series regular? Or did she come in at a certain point?
Yeah. She's on.
I mean, has she
Intermittently.
always been on the show? Or okay, so she's
She's not
she's
on
like a
every
guest star.
episode, but she's kind of like Ted Danson and kind of Richard Lewis. Like he's got this revolving cast of people who just like appear, frequently, but not every episode.
I see.
She's one of those.
A recurring character,
Yeah, recurring character.
but not a reoccurring character,
Right.
because that's not a word.
No, that is not a word. Ben Stiller, and Ted Danson's wife, whatever her name is.
Ben Stiller guest stars?
Yeah.
He just can't help himself, huh?
He's got
he just loves comedy TV.
He's got a big part in season 4. He's like in every episode almost in season 4.
Wow.
It's
must be either good or bad.
It's a whole thing. Yeah, it's well, you know.
I love statements like that.
I don't know if I agree with you on that one. Maybe it's neither.
Maybe it's neither. Well, no, I think people are going to find that either good or bad. No one's going to find it indifferent.
Yeah,
they could,
yeah,
but
yeah.
no one will.
Mhm. Yeah, no, you're right. No, it was both. It depended on the scene or the episode or whatever, but
yeah.
But he really did like take some time out and really be on that show a lot.
I mean, even his thing in extras was he was in most of the show.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, he did a lot.
That was a big part.
Yeah, it was.
And a lot of it focused on him.
Definitely.
Like doing stuff, so.
Yeah, he really dominated that episode. I don't know. He does a lot of stuff. He was on Mr. Show too.
Yeah, he gets around.
He really does. He could just Ben Stiller could show up anywhere. Ben Stiller might be in your closet right now.
Your closet might be Ben Stiller. And it might have always been Ben Stiller. And this is the moment where you realize it. That's why it's scary.
Don't open that closet. That closet is Ben Stiller.
That closet is Ben Stiller.
That closet does not have your clothes. That closet is Ben Stiller.
That closet soaked your clothes in gasoline and blew them up.
That closet is scary, Ben Stiller. Yikes.
You know, from Zoolander.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I thought you were just turning him into this evil, crazy guy.
No,
he was just gonna burn your house down. Hello, I'm Ben Stiller. I'm here to murder you.
It was nice to see him sort of make fun of himself. You know, he was like,
yeah.
You see me, fuckers? That movie, blah, 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 you know, and it's like, it's funny because as impressive as those numbers are, it really doesn't say a lot, you know, and it doesn't say a lot about him and how much he even has, you know, like, it's almost like saying, I mean, it's one step away from, like, hey, did you see the Mona Lisa? Yeah, I saw it too. Isn't it a great work of art? You know, or like somehow you're related to this thing and you're implying it's great, but like what evidence you're giving doesn't really, you know, support your implication. Yeah, it made a lot of money, great. Well, what does that mean? You know, it's not even saying that you're rich. It's not even saying like, you know, it's just saying it made a lot of money.
I think what it's saying is people like you. People are, you know, a lot of people are going to see your stuff.
Yeah, I guess that's, maybe that's what he's implying too, yeah.
You know, bragging about sales is about that. You know, sometimes, like Michael Bay, for instance, you turn that into an argument about why it's good. But I feel like he was really just saying, like,
it should be,
it
should correlate that if it's good, people will like it and see it. And it seems like that's really what he's getting at too. You know, because if it's bad, no one's going to see it.
Yeah, no, I think he believes it was good, but I feel like his central point was that I'm popular, people like me, and they pay money to see me. And like, yeah, the movie was good, but the main point is I'm good, people like me.
Yeah, I mean, he was definitely trying to say like, oh, I'm a big star or whatever, but yeah, it was weird.
Yeah, it was weird. That was that whole thing, like, it got really uncomfortable when he like yelled at the guy and. You know, enough about your dead wife or whatever. Like, it was pretty.
That whole thing was weird anyway. That whole thing was weird, man. The whole show was weird. The guy with the dead wife, and he's trying to get a line from him, and like, he's got this whole rivalry with the other extras about how many lines you can get, and like, just throw me a line. Like, is that all that's all it takes? Just throw me a line. I'm happy.
Yeah.
Ooh, I got a speaking part. Like I said, I got to go move my car before it gets too late and I forget because street cleaning or whatever. So
yeah.
In the morning,
Swish, spray.
Ticket.
Tow.
Yeah, they wouldn't tow it, right? They'd just give it a ticket.
Well,
they'd probably tow it if it was like you know blocking rush hour traffic or something.
Yeah.
But like, street cleaning and it's one car, they shouldn't tow it. They can miss a spot.
Yeah.
Because it's only a 2-hour window either anyway, so it's like 10 a.m. to noon or something.
Oh, yeah. Cut me some slack, man.
Cut me some slack. Hey, I woke up at 10:02. Give me a break. All right. So, thanks and namaste.
Okay. And I say bye, too.
Last podcast ever. Enjoy, guys.
Yeah, and thank you for listening to everything.
Thank you for the memories.
I will always remember these times.
I'm going to remember them for the next, 6 months and then forget.
Okay, well,
So remind me later.
I will, because I'm always going to remember them.
Yeah, I'll just have you remember.
Okay.
I don't
I'll
wanna deal
remember
with
it for us both.
Oh, can you do it wholesale?
Wholesale. Yes, of course.
Good.
Of course. Wholesale.
Gotta love that. Best title ever.
It is a really good title. Goddamn. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, Cronenberg,
Yes, I do.
Cronenberg was originally going to direct that, and he really he was fighting, I guess, with the producers about what the movie should be. Eventually, he got off of it, and I read this thing on Wikipedia claims that he went through a period where if he thought about that movie, he would get like an intense headache because he just hated like what happened to it.
Oh, like afterwards?
Yeah.
Wow. It's got some of the things in there that I could see him really loving.
Yeah.
You know, but I really like the style of that movie.
Yeah, I liked it too, but it's definitely not really Cronenberg.
No.
It would have been a different movie.
He would have upped it a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah, it would have been a little less of an Arnold Schwarzenegger action movie.
Yeah.
A little more probably interesting, but they did retain enough of it that it's still good.
Mhm.
But yeah, I don't know. I just thought that was interesting. Like getting a headache just thinking about like,
yeah,
you know, what happened to this movie. I can't think about it. I'm gonna like be in pain. Anyway, so I'll leave you with that. Right? Isn't that great?
All right.
After like, you know, whatever, 100-some hours of bullshitting, that's what I'll leave you with. That is
All
my
right.
legacy.
That's your legacy?
Yes.
All right,
Signing off.
Here's my legacy.
Over and out.